5-6 hours.
Yes. It's 3 times 60 seconds for Bioyomi after the main time is used up. So estimation is about 6 o'clock it'll be over.
Oh, yes. We have a closer view of the game room now. I can see Cho Wu in the center there, so he must be the referee. And then the 2 record takers.
Is that Onishi on the left side of
Onishi
Cho?
on the right, it looks like. Yeah, and I'm not sure who the other player is. But they must all be professional players.
Yes. They'll be doing the game recording, I suppose.
Yes.
Is there a computer on the other side of this screen?
I don't see it. I would expect them to be doing
Paper
a
recording?
broadcast
I see.
of it on internet, but I don't see the computer. Maybe it's in a separate room.
There might be also a camera on top of the board. I suppose they,
Oh yes,
they
there
actually have
must be.
seats, yes.
There's a camera on top of the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many sounds of shutters. This will be newspapers all around, I suppose.
Yeah, I would expect so.
As for the specifications of the hardware, the Zen that is playing today is actually using quite little hardware compared to AlphaGo. It seemed to be almost by like an order of magnitude. AlphaGo was using 1,800 or something.
Slightly more than 1,000,
CPUs, yes. And today's was 44 core, I believe.
44.
For the processor, yes. And then 4 of NVIDIA's Titan X, which is a commercially available graphics processing unit. So it seems like the Team Zen they have been wanting to try to develop a kind of program that you could actually run on your home computer if possible.
And still be really strong.
Yes. Compared to AlphaGo, who...
They need a lot of computers, yeah.
I was reading some kind of estimates that running the AlphaGo costed like $100 per hour. $1,000.
$1,000 per hour?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I think
electricity
these programs also are fairly expensive, are they not?
Yes,
to run?
they have to be.
Yes.
We can also actually see your comments over here. They are sliding past on the screen. So if you have questions or interesting remarks, we might pick 1 or 2 from time to time and bring it up for discussion.
Answer your questions, yes.
And also once in a while, actually, we will be doing questionnaires. Should we do one now?
We could ask what they think the result will be. この結果の予想っていうのを出してみます。Okay, so this is a questionnaire about what you think will happen in this match. It's going to be a 3-game match. So a Zen victory or a Cho Chikun victory. And it looks like we only have 2 choices each. That makes sense. Yes.
That should happen that way.
Yes.
I believe these should be all the possibilities.
Yes.
No matter what is the result, even if one player wins the first 2 games, the 3rd game will still actually happen
Yes.
next Wednesday. So take a guess, and in a moment we can see the answers. That's surprisingly even.
It's fairly well, evenly distributed.
People believing that Cho will win completely or just a little bit lower.
Yes.
It seems Aja Huang, the person from DeepMind, was saying that he expects a Zen victory, maybe 2-1.
2-1? Uh-huh.
I believe that's what he said.
Well, maybe they have a better idea of exactly how strong Zen is.
I suppose that is the case.
Yeah.
Like from time to time, it seems there's also a computer Go server that they actually use for checking how strong the Zen is, and they have their own rating system inside there. And it appeared to be so that the Zen right now is about maybe a little bit stronger than the AlphaGo, which played Fan Hui 1 year ago.
And they're going to do the nigiri now to choose colors for the first game.
Cho Chikun drew black.
It looks like he did, yes. Oh, yes. And so they will start at 1 o'clock Japanese time, so it's just a few more minutes now.
Mr. Kato is now setting up the program, it seems like. It seems that we were actually able to see some of the estimations that Zen is making for the game.
Yes, that would be interesting.
For the AlphaGo versus Lee Sedol match, we actually didn't see the estimations that the AlphaGo had, if it's winning or losing, but this time we should be seeing the numbers as well.
They did actually have that information, but
they were keeping it.
Yeah, they're a bit nervous maybe because it was the first challenge match.
Right. The person in the middle is Cho U, Taiwanese born.
Yes.
He had quite a few titles, didn't he?
Yes. If you, he took a lot of titles away from Yoda Norimoto, I believe, or at least
some 10 years ago.
Yeah, and then for a while he was on the top of the Japanese Go scene.
Wasn't he actually the first to have 5 titles at the same time?
I believe you're right. Yes. And then after that, it was his titles were taken away mostly by Iyama.
Iyama, yes.
Yes.
Some of those title matches in 2008 were the most interesting ever. Iyama was playing many Myoshu and very, very difficult and interesting moves that would just baffle you the moment you see them on the board.
And I believe the game is being played in the Niotani Hotel.
Yes.
Yes, and we are in the Nihon Kin, the Go Association. So we're not exactly at the same site, but we have it on video.
On Wednesday we will finally be in the same building. I think it is almost time to
They're about to start, yes. It's just maybe a minute or so now. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm Michael Redmond. I'm a 9-dan of the Japanese Go Association. And
I am Antti Törmänen. I'm from Finland and I became professional this year in spring.
And you're a Shodan now, right?
Yes. Yes. I'm still basically starting my pro career. I didn't even play so many games.
Yes.
And let's hope we will all have a very interesting weekend watching these games.
Yes. The games are scheduled for today, tomorrow, and on the 23rd. And
that should be Wednesday next week.
Wednesday, yes.
Time-wise, I suppose it'll be just a little bit difficult for Europeans and Americans. It's very early in the morning in Europe right now. And America, depending on the West Coast or East Coast.
Yes.
But different. But hopefully you can see as much as possible of these matches. Was there going to be a kind of, will the videos remain in internet after the...
I believe it will remain there for a while, yes.
Right.
Within this site.
So even if you cannot catch it, then you should be able to view it later. Ah, you're starting.
Yes. Unusual already.
I think you were correct about Cho Chikun having a plan.
Yes. Well, Cho Chikun himself has not played this opening very much. I don't remember seeing him playing this move as his first move.
Right.
So it's.
How would you describe his style for the general audience?
Well, the 5-3 point is usually sort of threatening to make a moyo, but depending on how the game continues, it can turn into a territorial game
Contest,
also. Because basically, the only normal corner enclosure or shimari that black can follow up with is at the 3-4 point. Yeah,
this
like
one.
that. Yes. So. So when black does something like that, the shimari, it becomes a fairly solid territory for black. And so there is that possibility. Also, if white wants to avoid a black moyo, white will be playing a high kakari, a high approach move.
That would be this kind of move here.
Which would generally give a lot of territory to black. And so depending on how white answers this, it can turn into a game in which black has a lot of territory.
Sometimes, even just recently, I think you could see players like Omeyen or even Cho playing this kind of.
Yes, that kind of shimari. Actually, Cho played it quite last week.
Yes.
And so it's the 5-3 point is being played a bit recently.
In case of this kind of shimari, black might later on play this kind of move to make it a big corner territory.
Which has some bad audio, of course. But
Yes.
yes.
It made 3-3.
Yeah. Instead, it looks like black is just playing the moyo strategy for the time being. And of course, if white plays deeply, if white plays something like, let's say black plays here and here, there's a lot depends on how white handles this. Like if this happens, white's going to be taking more territory. Black would probably pincer
here.
And maybe something like this might happen. In which case, white gets the corner territory, and black will have something on. Well, locally, black would play here. Black might play elsewhere. And so this kind of thing would give white more territory with black having a moyo. Whereas, they're moving forward already. Aha.
Almost as expected.
Well, you almost expected it. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it looks like it's a bit awkward a way to play, but of course, white's sort of cramped if white tries to go in there. Like if white goes into the corner here, something like this or here.
Yes.
Although white can probably live.
It will be very cramped kind of shape, I suppose.
Actually, yeah, black could play there. Black actually might not allow white to live.
Even.
In which case, this would sort of revert to a doseki.
From star points.
Yes. And so one of the things about the 3-5 point is that it's really hard to predict whether black's going to have territory or a moyo.
Right.
Depending on how white answers it.
I suppose for white as well, it's difficult to choose which move to play here for the time being.
Yeah, playing on something on the fourth line would lead to an awkward fight for white, so it's probably not so good right now. And something I noticed about AlphaGo, at least, is that it's pretty good at playing in the center of the board, which is an area which is relatively different for human players.
Indeed.
And, yeah. And all of the computer programs seem to be fairly good at surrounding the center, so maybe it's a valid idea for black to be taking the initiative towards the center of the board.
This would certainly pressure the computer, I believe. Cho Chikun sensei is playing really fast.
Yes, he has the whole. Well, for most pros, it's fairly easy to play at least reasonable moves.
Yes.
But even so, people tend to think more about their moves. At this point, white would usually just extend on the fourth line.
Computer will think a little bit no matter what.
Do you think that Zen is also programmed to use 1 minute for each move or something like that?
I think probably it will not make snap-second decisions at least. It will use probably 20 seconds per move.
I noticed that AlphaGo seemed to have a certain period of time that it wanted to think.
I guess for the long run anyway, the program has to be made so that when it enters Bioyomi, it can also handle the game reasonably over there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I would suppose it uses about the same time, all the same amount of time
For each
throughout.
move, yeah.
Yes. The way the program is actually working is that it's running simulations throughout this throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
It will see a move here, then it will start counting games until the end, and try to estimate a kind of winning percentage.
That's
for
the
its
Monte
choice.
Carlo system,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Well, there are many different components inside the program, of course, but running those simulations and then depending on them, deciding where to play. So I think it needs to run some number of simulations before it can make any kind of a reasonable estimation.
But of course, to a certain extent, it relies on the judgments it's made earlier in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. And Cho Chikun played a slightly unusual move, in that usually you see black curling once more, and then jumping. This is the sort of the joseki here. So he jumped once early, which leaves a bit of weakness here, in that later on white can capture the two stones.
Ah, he connected.
And now he connects. So this is something I haven't seen yet. With this connection, black is leaving the weakness here, in which case black can scoop out the corner with something like that.
Yes.
And so locally, even if white plays here, there's still some adu of this move.
It exists.
So he's taking white's eyes away, and
It's a very tenacious move.
trying to put pressure on white.
White fixed its shape anyway.
Oh, he went immediately.
Oh. This would normally be the kind of way that I would expect the bot to play this way.
Oh, really?
Very straightforward kind of fighting,
Uh-huh.
going for it right from the start. But now Cho Chikun is doing it.
And now white has to choose which side. Black also has two weak groups, the two groups on both sides of white.
Yes.
So white has to choose at this point which side he wants to attack. Because normally you would expect white to answer somehow in the corner.
For example, white might play here. Oh. If this happened...
Then black would play here. And playing here would be a ko, which is not reasonable for white at this point. So
Yes.
white plays here. And this would make this a living shape, and white would have to try to attack
some kind of
these
pincer
stones.
here.
Yeah. And there would still be the fact that, like if black does something like this, these white stones are not alive yet.
Yes.
And so it might be a fight in which black's strength in the upper left of the corner of the board is going to come into play here.
Yes.
And so instead white played the other way.
Diagonal over there.
Yeah.
Black connected. And then white quickly played a pincer over here.
With the idea that white can attack here. And so it's a fight has started already. Black moves out. This white group is not alive. If white starts with something like this,
Black will make the upper side bigger, I suppose.
with this the white group is not 100% alive yet, but it's pretty close to being alive. So if I were to say which side is attacking, it looks like white has more potential to attack, but at the same time black is building some moyo in the upper.
Black might make this kind of shape move here.
Yeah, on the upper side. So instead white played here. Well, this also is aiming to play here at some later point to make a almost living shape.
Yes. And at the same time, white is looking at this point
Yeah,
to
that would
completely
be
enclose.
yeah. So black has to move out. And now he's stopped. I would say the natural move would be the kosumi here.
Yes, that is the first impression, I believe. But it also seems to be the case that Cho Chikun is going for a fast-paced game here. Do you think it could be possible that he would try this kind of attachment to try to
white
get
would
speed,
answer here, and
then extend,
yeah. And maybe something like this,
and then
well, attack.
After all, this is weak though, but
It's still
to
big,
continue
yeah.
with this line of play,
White would probably run out also.
yes,
Very exciting.
this would become difficult to read for both sides. Most likely, Cho Chikun has
That would
a
be interesting.
more solid line of play in mind.
Might be better for white to connect here.
Ah, I see.
In this case, maybe black would play from above, though.
And-
I'm sort of worried about the whole black group, so
Yes.
it would be still But since he's thinking, this is probably one of the options that he's thinking about. Playing here is a bit slow. It would allow white to
make this perfect shape
that
over
would be
here.
good shape for white. Okay.
But he
So
extended
play
nevertheless.
No, he played the
No, he extended it.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, I see. Excuse me. So it is going for speed after all.
Something like this.
Hane game quickly, extension. And then it's a question of whether to connect.
Otherwise, black might be thinking of playing something like this.
White would block, and is this a hanging connection?
This might be better for black, but he extended. I sort of like this because white's running out of ice space.
Black can still later on keep
can,
you.
yeah, take away white's ice space. But he played the normal move.
So in this case, black is looking at a cut here, or most likely some kind of press to destruction.
Yeah, it depends basically how strongly white plays here. If white plays a connection, it might be better for black to play a bit more conservatively here. Whereas if white plays here, then curling around here gives black a very strong shape out in the center. And so white chose this one. This is
Hanging
basically
connection.
the same as the connection. Very similar. So in this, if black plays this way in this fight, I think it's a bit dangerous for black.
It does look that way.
Yeah.
Black will have two groups without
weak
ice
groups.
over here.
Yeah.
And then just possibly later on, white might play this kind of pincer.
Yeah.
To attack black
Two
still on
moves,
the upper side.
like maybe starting from here.
Yes.
After this, it would be serious trouble for black. So
Right.
This is something that white can be looking forward to in the game, in any case. Oh, this is a very aggressive style for black.
Cho Chikun is going all the way too.
Yeah.
Well, definitely next if black got to play this one.
It would be too big. White will move out with this one style.
Yes.
Yeah. The question is, how should white move out? And of course, Cho Chikun is known to be a very strong fighter. And he likes to get into very difficult fights. So in that way, I guess he's sort of similar to Lee Sedol.
I suppose so, yes.
But of course, in the AlphaGo match, Lee Sedol, he didn't really seem to be playing his own game in a way. Sometimes he was overcautious.
Yes.
And then in some of the games when he did try to fight, it didn't really work out very well.
Possibly the first game was the most normal Lee Sedol style.
Oh yes, yes.
In the first game, it came to a very difficult and hard to understand fight right from the start. Maybe because the bot was able to get the upper hand over there. Possibly he lost confidence.
He changed his style a little bit.
Yes. Then all of those 5 games were actually very different in spirit, somehow. So now we should be entering a running fight here.
Yes. But of course, black has to be careful of his group in the upper right, which is not alive yet.
Do you think the bot will turn around? Yes, surrounded. So if going by normal way, black would cut.
And white has a choice of pulling back or
if it came to
covering.
this kind of thing, the
this
stones
would be good
get
for black. Yeah.
captured on a very big scale.
The ladder works here. So white can
Normally
stop that
speaking.
by playing here. So this is one thing that could happen. But it probably looks, I get the feeling that it's going to be good for black actually, because white has such a flimsy shape there.
Black might do something like prepare to
maybe
cut
that
over
one.
here, and white has 2 weak groups on both
Something
sides.
like that.
Yes.
And this group is fairly weak. I don't really know what's going to happen. It's another difficult fight here.
Yes. For the
Of
time
course,
being,
black would have to live on this side too. So
yes,
maybe this is
it
playable.
looks
for
very
white.
difficult actually. Yes.
Yeah. But black did not play in that direction.
Black played what would usually be called a bad move, I think.
This is usually vulgar. The idea behind this is that white is usually going to answer on the side that black has played. Like if black cuts here, white's going to play on something on this side.
Yes.
If black comes here, this white's going to play on this side. So usually this is vulgar when white does this, and
and take one stone
maybe
perhaps.
take. And white has the tessuji here, with which white can force something like this.
So in fact the black territory would
black
be a lot
pushes
smaller.
And so it's not very efficient for black, because white not only has that, but the pushing here is usually going to be sente for white also.
Yes.
So it's a small way to capture, but the very fact that there's this one wasted white stone in here makes it actually pretty big.
Virtually
so
unplayable
the
for
idea
white.
behind this is that it's big to capture the right side.
So white also didn't actually cut, but white is going for a settled shape inside.
The question here still remains how alive is the black group here? It looks like black has about one eye on the right side, but
Yes.
and a potential eye if black later plays something like this, maybe in the center here. But the problem is that how exactly is black going to go about living when white does something like this? So this is the kind of move that white would like to be playing to put some pressure on the black.
Yes. And even if black manages to live inside, most likely white would have a big wall here.
If white can get rid of the weakness here and have a kind of a connected
Yes.
shape, then white could continue in the lower right corner. Oh, but he played here immediately.
Immediately.
Ah.
So this would feel like white is going to trade this stone lightly.
That stone might be, yeah, white would answer the cut with an Antari on the right.
If black would do this kind of way, just end up at this
I
point.
would expect that, yes.
Since also in this case black has an empty triangle shape over there.
So instead of doing that, black might be playing...
Black would
first
also want to play on that side.
White probably answers here. And we'll probably, maybe here, it's a question but whether black cuts or plays here.
It also does seem to relate to this group, how exactly it will be surrounded.
Yes. That's an interesting order of playing. Very territorial. White's, it's difficult for black to kill the white group. For instance, if black starts here,
That would be diagonal.
black can kill it with this, but there's the cutting point here. And white has, let's see, white has five liberties. So it looks like black
Extend
might...
once more and then possibly go down.
It looks like
Or
black
even
can win the semi, but not necessarily good for black though.
This might still actually be sent.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah. Otherwise, it might be wiser for black to allow it to live by playing something like this.
Force a white move there and still.
Something like that.
Yes.
Or maybe covering once. Oh, he played the Sarard instead.
That seems like a confident kind of move.
Fairly similar to the previous variation, in which if white plays here, white can live relatively easily with something like this.
Yes.
And so in this kind of variation, it looks like black is pulling ahead in territory, and white has a potential attack here and will later be invading the upper side and eventually doing something in the upper left. So this would be relatively peaceful in that black is basically alive and white is going to take the offensive in this fight. So it's gonna be settled fairly simply, relatively. Then both sides having a lot of weak groups.
This does seem like the kind of moment that the bot would think along.
Well, white does still have potential to live on the in the corner.
Most likely it'll be center.
Yeah, but played in the center first. Now this looks like it's going to be sente at least. If white played one more move here, for instance, or even here, it looks like it's going to be very difficult for black to live.
This looks dirty, yes.
Yeah. So I would expect black to be playing
Tsuke.
maybe the Tsuke,
Attachment.
the attachment.
Could black possibly have a way to get out? He has to use the peep for that one, but...
Oh, you mean by playing here?
And then this kind of move, in order not to get cut.
That looks like something Cho Chikun would want to try.
Then jump there. But how far black can actually get?
Well,
It doesn't seem like it's
sort of worth
surrounded.
it, maybe. Like black would have a much nicer eye here.
This shape would be quite comfortable. Possibly later on, black could still cut white in this fashion and
Yes.
perhaps attack.
But of course, this is a point where black has to. Black can't just play a judgment move now because black actually has to end up with a living shape. So it's he has to be careful about how he chooses his moves.
Yes. Basically, black's decision here will decide a lot about the game to come. Will it be peace or war?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe it's,
Oh, I see.
maybe the jump is better. Like if white does something like this, and black gets some extra strength here.
Choose the Atari and then...
Yeah, that would be more difficult for white to close.
Yes. If black could actually get out from here, that's the
And the weak
best
point of
possible
this
scenario.
move, yeah, the weak point here is this peep here, and that's why I think black needed the attachment here
Yes.
first.
So now if
This
white
is
tried
connected.
to
Yeah,
cut
now it's
two stones
okay.
again.
Yeah, but without that, it looks like it's not quite connected.
Without if
This
white
would be
peeps,
dangerous, right? Something like that. Yes, that would cut black off. So if black
That's,
wants to
danger.
jump here, black really needs an extra move here. So he can start with the peep, or maybe he will just start with the attachment here.
It could basically become the same result. If white draws back, then peep.
It could be,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
That peep is not something you would usually want to play, but perhaps it's not a loss here.
I think in this game it's probably okay for black
Yes.
to play the peep. Provided, like, if black has to be careful about counterattacks like this.
Right.
In this kind of
Now it would
flow of
be
stones, it looks
safer.
like it's safe. Yeah.
Cho Chikun's hand is on the table.
Yes. There. He
Oh,
played the attachment.
attachment.
When he had a lot of titles, when he was the leading player in Japan, he was quite famous for his talking to himself. Or,
Ah, yes, during the game.
Yeah, during the game, and that kind of thing. And he would have all these habits of his, like he would have wooden matches that he split into pieces.
Ah,
He would break them with his fingers. And,
yes.
and there was a period where he had little plastic toys that you hold in your hand to
I actually think he still has
exercise.
them.
Yeah, exercise things that he worked his hands. And so there was a period where he really had to move his hands to be comfortable.
There seem to be quite a number of professionals, usually older people, who still do that kind of thing.
Well, before they came into the fad, people usually used just fans.
Right.
And they would, instead of fanning themselves with the fans, they would be clicking the fan by opening it. and
Making the
closing it.
sound.
Yeah. But that sort of became less popular.
Was there also a player who was biting his fan? Or is that just a myth?
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have a close recollection.
I see.
Now it looks like whatever black does, he can't get two eyes on the right side. Like if black does something like this,
Biggest one there.
even if he plays this way, there's no way to make this into a two-eye shape. Like if black plays here,
White
it's
makes the
still
eye
dead.
smaller.
This is still dead. It's just one eye.
Just locally speaking, this here
It's
doesn't
not
become
quite an eye yet. Yeah, and then there's this, which also doesn't work. It's still not enough space for two
Yes.
eyes. And so black can't really go in this direction because this makes it more difficult for black to make an eye in the center.
If black went all the way, I suppose he could play.
He could play that one
between there.
Yeah.
But this is not something you would usually want to think about.
Something like that. This would live, yeah, but it's a bit painful.
In this case, white gets increased shape on this side.
Yeah, and would be able to continue.
Yes.
Something like this.
This way, black wouldn't even be able to get out.
And so black really wants to be thinking of something towards the center. Usually this is the tesuji. White would probably cut though.
Yes.
And usually it's good for black to play the atari here, but in this case maybe it's better to play here. And then play. This would be this stone isn't here. So this is
still
this
not
is
an
half
eye.
an eye here. So it's not completely alive still.
It would mean white would play a move around here,
and that would
enclosing
be forcing.
black.
Yeah, maybe that one.
And then
black would need to play one more stone. So this is something that could happen. Otherwise, white could play. Yeah, this look. I would assume that variation actually.
I see.
Pretty reasonable.
Sometimes with this white shape, you might also think about cutting, but does it actually make it any different? That would be a lower side in that case. There seems to be the kind of danger it becomes a co-fight.
It could be a co-fight. And also the connection here is bad, so even if white connects
actually.
it looks actually pretty painful.
And cutting here might be senti as well. If this black has to live on this side still, so it actually makes the corner.
It's not alive yet. Well, black could play once here, and this would be forcing. But still, the sagari would be forcing. White would still have potential. That would maybe be a ko now. But
in any case, this cut remaining here means that
that's big.
this is a black cannot even consider.
Yeah. So I'm sort of expecting the hane.
Black does seem to be thinking a lot here. So for the time being, white is creating influence in the center area.
Of course, he has a choice. He still has to make a choice in the lower right here. After black, we'll assume that black lives somehow on the right side. The actual method that black chooses is sort of difficult. But if white plays on the outside here, this will work well with white's wall. But the territory difference, the difference in territory here is really big. Like this is almost
25 points.
Yeah, and the white territory that would have been in the corner is gone.
Yes.
So white sort of wants to continue living in the corner, which will not only does it sort of hurt white on the outside, it's gote, and it gives black this extension. And so these 2 points are what we call miai, or exchangeable points.
One player gets one, the other player gets the other.
And when this happens, assuming the right side is lived, I'm sort of skipping that part. But you can see that black is sort of has a fast opening, sort of.
Stones all around the board, eh?
Extra stones. And white doesn't really have any territory to compensate for that.
Yes.
But I would say that Zen is playing at a professional level, sort of as we expected. Because I don't really see any
wasted stones,
any bad moves at this point. Certainly not how I'd expect, for instance, an amateur player to play.
Yes. It could even be that whole board direction-wise, this having stones in the center might make it easier for white to do something in the top left corner.
That's an interesting move. He's playing to break out into the center.
So the meaning is, if white, for example, tries to go through here,
and this would be good for black. Even if white connects here, black can take the one. This is a live shape, and the territorial gain is big.
Yes.
Whereas if white plays the tesuji to save his one stone, this also is good shape for black, I think. Black is more or less alive. Fairly close to alive. Like
white shape has still many kind of liberty problems.
This would not take away the eye here. Black could live with this. And so if white plays here, black can make a life in the center. So it's pretty much alive. Like even if we assume this exchange, which is, it's difficult to say what timing white would be able to play that, but it also leaves the weakness here. So it's pretty implausible that white would be able to attack this black group. And
so Zen played Atari and Cho's black group ran out.
And so when black plays this way, he has to be fairly certain that he can move out into the center, because now he doesn't have any eyes. Like this is forcing, but white might not want to play it yet because there's some potential loss on this side. Black would still move out quickly, but the cut here is becoming a threat, just because of the fact that this cut here is going to be sente.
Yes.
So this is a point where white might be considering, since white has a kind of a living shape at this point.
Especially with the capture waiting here.
Yeah. It could be a point where white would want to think of moving back to this corner and see how black moves out into the side so that white can use that movement to sort of continue the attack in the center.
Right. Yet.
Oh, he did play that, yeah.
White, the bot is actually going for it. Or perhaps it cannot be called a good exchange exactly.
Not necessarily, no.
White has to continue directly.
Usually better not played.
Yes. Because the cut exists right now, is it possible that white will capture,
well, that
force
would, yeah,
this
black would answer
exchange?
that way, yes.
Well, I suppose just connecting.
It's no problem. Yes. I don't really like this for white because this is. It's possible that this would become sente now, since white doesn't have a two-eyed shape after black plays here.
Yes, and white might get stopped over here as well.
So this would make it much more difficult for white to live in the corner. So I think this white would not do this yet, but at some point, since he does have extra eyes, I would still be thinking of moving in the corner. Or he played once in the center. Now black's going to jump out.
This is somehow the kind of straightforward play that I was
well, at this
used
point, yeah. White does sort of want to stop pushing from the center now. Like if this would just put the white side group, it would isolate it. And this is, as I was saying, this is going to be forcing when white gets surrounded like this.
Yes.
So the corner is likely to die. So this white doesn't really want to push from the center. Similarly, this would be a more natural move.
Black goes out there.
But still, it's sort of putting pressure on the white group here.
I suppose exchange this, prevent the cut.
Yes, but still black.
It's still a very bad feeling.
There's a potential eye here. If after playing this, black can make an eye here and stuff like that. So, and the whole white group is not alive yet. So maybe this would be a good point for white to change the direction.
Black also seems kind of happy with this kind of a bulging shape here.
And this is still looks like it's miai. It's exchangeable points. So this looks like it's. I don't really see how white is trying to set up this attack.
Cho Chikun is again stopping for thinking. Now he's playing. Yes, jump as expected.
We can see the time in the game room. So they're about even.
The game is actually progressing surprisingly fast.
Yes. Well, I think that was the strategy of Cho Chikun. Although the name, the printed name on the page here was saying Cho Chikun,
Yes.
which I think is close to the Korean
pronunciation.
I'm so used to calling him Cho Chikun. I'm just going to go on.
That's the normal way in Japan, yes. So, as you were saying, white is pushing from that side.
Yeah.
In that case, that should be happening. Could it be possible that white has found some stronger way of playing the corner?
In the corner, that is a question. I'm not sure. Well, white will probably,
Maybe just by jumping, but doesn't make a difference.
white would like to be able to do something like this. And if it's a ko in the corner, then it would be okay.
Yes.
But it looks a bit dangerous.
Something like keep there. Then connect on the second line.
And it looks like white's dead. So if white could, for instance, get a ko with something like this variation, this would be playable for white.
Yes. In this case, white would have many potential ko threats, actually.
Yeah, yes.
But it does seem like black is not in trouble.
But if we just live in the corner, this is actually what I'm sort of expecting to happen.
Maybe two space now.
And then white would still try to get a double attack on black. So maybe this is what's going to happen.
It does seem reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Maybe three space.
Ah. Yes, it seems better. There's still kind of pincer here, something like go out.
Yes. Well, at this point, black is still thinking about the center. And he basically has two choices, I guess. Well, maybe more. I was assuming the fukurami, to move out like this.
That seems like the first impression.
Otherwise, this seems to be slightly bad shape. There's the question is can black force with this?
In case white answers...
If white answers, black would be able to play something like this, which might be slightly better shape.
Faster for getting out, yes.
This would be slightly better shape for black.
Compared to previous when it was this way.
Right. Yeah. There's the question of what if white plays on this side. Sorry, it's like this.
So black will...
well, let's just have black.
Cut in simple fashion. And then it's a question about the fight.
It becomes a fight between these two groups, which I don't really know what's going to happen. It looks dangerous for black, though.
Overall,
in this fight, white would be able to just throw away the corner. I think it looks dangerous.
This is dangerous for black.
Yeah.
In case black didn't defend here and gave away the corner connection, now this group might be in trouble.
This is much more difficult to... this looks like it could be a fight to capture between this black group and this white group.
Yes.
So there's a lot of reading to be done here. Yeah, if black wants to play this move, I think he needs to do a lot of calculating. Like, there's the possibility of playing once here first.
Yes.
Which would...
give two forcing moves.
Maybe give some extra strength to this black group. And then, yeah, I just don't know. There's also the possibility of white playing more intermediate move like this, in which case black would cut anyway, and then white would play here. And this is not on the board yet.
So then when black...
So then white would be sort of threatening both black groups at the same time. But locally, black would have this move to move out. So this would be something like this.
This is very difficult to evaluate.
I really have no idea what will happen in this fight. This could be here or here also.
Right.
Yeah.
Most likely black is in danger here.
It looks dangerous for black. So black would sort of like to be able to force with this move, but it looks like it might not be reasonable.
We might be waiting for black's move here for some time. It seems like the kind of situation that you want to read it all out.
Yes.
Because if it works for black, that could take a lead.
And if it doesn't work, it would be the end of the game.
Yes.
So he played the safe move. So locally, white will be able to force with an extension or a jump. But I don't know if he's going to play it yet.
It seems like that was quick. So the peep was deemed a good shape. Black connected immediately. I suppose in this development, white will now go to the corner.
Yes, maybe once more in the center, or maybe not.
A jump, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, there.
Ah, immediately. So finally it should be looking like this.
Yeah, I would expect the 3 space extension.
Oh.
Aha. No, that's playing one move like that and then moving to the upper side is unexpected.
I might actually call this computer-like again.
Mm-hmm.
Normal professional players would not think of this as a good exchange and then to move somewhere
Right.
else.
Well, it's a loss of territory when black
Yes.
plays like this.
It looks like no matter when white plays this move, black will also always answer.
Yes.
So it's not giving options either.
But of course, the upper side is important too. Like if white plays one more move here, for instance, like, oh, maybe not this one. White has to play once here.
Peep first. If black answers, then is there still something in fact?
There's some bad oddsy.
Go down, for example.
And black looks like black can save half of the group.
Yes.
If white answers here, then black can force with this. And
So that might become a cold fight. So
yeah. Or white can start with this one.
then get the peep.
This looks like it would be
Oh.
dead. Yeah. So black would like to play a move something like this to capture the lower right corner.
But in
But
that case,
at
white will
this point,
finish this
yeah.
area.
Yeah, that would be painful, I think. So black probably can start a fight here too, like maybe play
Yes.
the peep first.
White shape in the center is quite thick.
Mm-hmm.
See. It'll become attachment
Another
anyway.
fight, yeah.
Do you suppose black might just upper side?
Oh, cut. Cutting is a safe move, relatively.
In that case, black would make
Oh,
a
he
base
played
on
the
this.
attachment first. Yeah, he did without the peep.
In this case, I suppose usually what happens is white plays both Atari, then connects around here. And then I suppose white would return to the corner.
I suppose so, yeah.
Black goes for the outside.
Otherwise, if black extends, that's another possibility, I suppose.
This would, if white blocked, then the cut would be more severe. So
Yes.
I suppose white would defend against the cut.
But it's sort of worrying to have so many weak groups floating about. Like black already has the center group here,
Yes.
and this group is not going to be 100% safe. Oh, but he did play the
Something like
extension.
this.
Yeah, and white connected.
Solid connection. So it seems like we will get one game-long fighting scenario from start to
Yes.
finish.
Well, a lot of groups, unsettled groups. Like the white group is, even if white starts doing stuff like this, even this white group will not be 100% alive.
Yes.
And of course, the two black groups will not be alive. And we have another not alive group on the upper side. And white's center group also, although it has some potential eye space in this area, it's not completely alive yet.
I think some Chinese professionals were commenting, possibly online, that one of the weaknesses of bots is that if the game becomes very long and very difficult, complicated fighting, Eventually, sooner or later, the bot will actually go crazy and not find out what is big or small anymore. Could it be that Cho Chikun is having this kind of game plan?
I don't. Well.
In this case, we will have many different running groups.
Yes.
We don't know which stones are alive, which are dead, and what will happen in the future. So the move number of this game will likely be very big.
Yes. Well, of course, this game is very difficult for a human too.
Yes. I would like to block here, but Black seems to be saying that he can do something in this fight. Is this a block here?
Not so sure about that one though. Maybe white could play here.
And Black would need to capture these ones in order to...
But black might be meaning to play once here now, to make a life in the corner. This would be a simpler way to handle it. And there's the cutting stone.
Still
here.
a cutting point, yes. And possibly a move later on here will be delicious
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
If white cannot cut here, black is going to have a good shape.
Yeah. White has to cut. Yeah. So we'll see how he manages that. Otherwise, I think if black cuts, maybe it's better for black to crawl.
Push that side and play.
And if white plays here,
black can connect
black
and white
will
is
win this.
captured.
If white plays here,
it has to be that way, but now it's one stone difference in the center.
now these stones are going to be are in danger, white on that side. And
Yes.
black playing here would be good for black on the upper side.
I
So
see.
the one I have to worry about is the tesuji here. But since black can force this way. Now, what is this? It looks like it's going to be, maybe black should play once here first, yes. So it looks like black's going to be able to win,
This will be fine.
win this MAI, yes. Like if black continues here and here,
It's a one move win, isn't it?
it's a one move difference. And black wins by one move difference. And so this looks like it's playable for black.
Yes. Black extended directly. Was there some other dangerous variation we didn't see? So what should be forcing?
This is forcing.
I'm not sure if it's good.
Usually white doesn't want to play that yet. White didn't need to play it. And if white continues to attack black, it would be something like this, and maybe something like this. But now it looks like it would probably be dangerous for white. Again, the same way.
If Hane, then still the same rule.
I think so, yes.
It looks like nothing changed.
I think this looks fightable for black. Yeah. So
eventually white will have to come back to
yeah, I
defend.
think white comes back at some point.
Ah, he played Atari.
Atari, okay, yeah. Maybe that's better.
Simply saying that if black doesn't play anything, Ponnuki is good
Right.
feeling.
So black would like
Bronze.
to, well, if black extends,
Then this is also a perfect shape.
Maybe something like that, yeah. Or maybe black can cut.
Yes. And then white would like to capture, but in that case the upper side will be...
Here. This would be safer.
Yes.
Yeah. And if white connects, then black will play
well.
here. Maybe black can play some forcing moves before...
make the
before
exchange
living.
and then... This kind of tesuji exists for connection.
Oh, no, maybe here first.
So later on black can actually make territory in this area. Even this might be thick for white.
Yes. I'm sort of worried about black extending because the upper right is not completely alive yet.
It would be another weak group.
Yeah.
Do you think we should hold a questionnaire for a change?
For the next move?
Or maybe for which countries people are watching from?
Oh yes, that's a good idea. どこに住んでいるかという質問。
今何人は見てるかわかりますか？1万3000人ですか？ So here's a questionnaire for where you are from. Please pick one of the continents available. We have a surprisingly good number of viewers actually. 13,000. For the AlphaGo match, it was after all in the millions, I suppose.
Eventually it was in the millions.
Yes. Still Asians 40%.
Yeah.
Europe and North America make for 50.
I guess that means a lot of people staying up late at night.
Yes, that is actually quite tough, it seems like.
Yes.
It might be that the proportion of Europe and America will go up as time passes.
As they find out what's happening.
Yes.
We could take another look at the life and death of this black group. Looks like black's almost alive by playing once here, but it's not actually a complete eye, like white can play once here.
Peep here.
And then play here to make it a false... Oh,
That
I'm
might
wrong,
play
aren't I?
here.
So it is alive. Let's see, is there any way for white to kill... Maybe
Kill
white has
this
to
group.
play here.
Then I suppose that's a go down. But so white exchanges this one.
Maybe if black plays here, it's going to be okay then.
Could white possibly make this into a core still by playing Hane connection here, and then Hane in the corner? If
Well,
white
yes.
simply connected it around here,
Then it would be alive, of course.
yes, that was the eye there. So,
Yeah. And so it would be this call.
yes,
Well, of course, since this connects up to this group, it might be difficult to go for white.
yes. If white loses it, white gives up a lot of points.
And black does have local co-threats. Let's see if that's
Atari
a
as well.
variation. It's like this, right?
Yes. Seems like those are the options.
Yes. Maybe it's a call.
If it's a go that's difficult for white to play, then black might consider doing something else as well.
I would still sort of want to play the cut here. It looks
Yes.
better. But of course, playing the one Atari here, it erased this move that I was showing. Because now
right
I can actually, capture it. And now this tesuji works, of course. So
This cut doesn't exist here.
that's the value of playing the Atari here. So black doesn't really have let's see, like black could play this one, but this is not going to be much of an attack on white. Because white can relatively easily make a life just by curling. In fact, it will be sente for white.
Previously, black had this move available.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't.
And this stone was necessary anyway. It's a valuable move. So this is not really working. And so it ends up being this kind of move, which is just playing a forcing exchange, gaining some points,
Yes.
but not actually killing white. And white would probably just leave it though if black played here. This would be sort of threatening to play here next.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be as big as a move like
white
this.
might still.
Locally, white would be play something here.
In which case,
But,
black would keep
yeah.
the corner.
But it might be better for the whole board. It might be better for white to switch back to here,
Profit here.
because white does have a kind of a double attack going on.
Yes.
Black has.
But it became a little bit stronger.
Yeah, slightly stronger. But black cuts here. Locally, I guess white's best move is here, and then black can push through. So
That's a
it's
free,
relatively
that's
easy for black to make eyes.
Yes.
Like if white plays here, then white can stop black from making the second eye here. But black does have one eye, and can
this
make
will
a
still
second
be-
eye here. So black now has a potential life because of this exchange that white played. And so it's relatively safe.
Was there actually any use for white for this exchange?
It was not good. Maybe this
It was afraid of the core.
There was the ko there that it had to worry about, and this would be better for black when black does do this, maybe.
Then there's a cut remaining, so
Yeah.
white has to answer.
So
And
erasing
white-
the ko.
Yes. White would like to capture, but in that case, I suppose this can be quite dangerous.
That would be a ko. Black would need a ko threat because black has a lot to lose also.
Yes.
Usually black doesn't have a ko threat for this ko though, because black's losing so much. But
It seems difficult.
Yeah, this might have been what the computer program
Yes.
was afraid of.
It does seem like computer programs are usually not so good at core, let's say.
They're not
and
so
they try to avoid it.
AlphaGo had some problems with codes too.
Yes. The commercial version of Zen, actually, from time to time, it would get confused in the late game, especially if there was core at hand.
Oh yes.
Even on 9x9 board, it would do something extremely unreasonable. Add stones to a dead group, or just play dummy moves that are close to passing. So it would make sense, it wants to avoid any core possible.
Yes. So this is the game position.
Cho Chikun is thinking for a long while.
He's sort of leaning over the board,
And
sort of talking to himself.
yes,
He looks a lot more relaxed than Lisetto looked when he was playing AlphaGo.
definitely. He looks like his usual self, I would say. But always when he gets deep into thought, he actually starts talking to himself, and it doesn't mean necessarily that the score is good or bad. But he's thinking a lot. Can you make out what he's saying, actually?
Something is wrong or different, apparently. But of course, no one knows what it is.
Yes, just by does he himself know? Here we can see the winning percentage estimate that Zen is giving to itself.
That's the deep Zen Go estimate of the score. And so that's actually, it's not actually the same program that is playing, but it's a different copy of the same program, which is evaluating the game.
Same software, should be same hardware, but just a different process of it.
Yeah,
running.
it's not the exact, it's not actually playing the game at the same time as evaluating
Yes.
it, right?
That is actually quite a big difference. Usually what would happen is that around the time it's still 59 or maybe 65, it might still make errors, at least the commercial version. But usually if it gets up to 70%, it means like
It's actually ahead.
a win is almost certain in that case.
I get the feeling that the computer programs in general that use Monte Carlo to predict the future
Yes.
of the game seem to be a bit
Optimistic.
optimistic and giving themselves a lead.
They are.
And so what percent did Zen say it was?
Right now?
Yes.
Right now it was 59.
59, so yeah, that's probably about even.
Yes, that could still be
My guess would
optimism.
be, yeah.
It doesn't seem like Black has made any really bad moves either.
It's a very complicated game. It's pretty hard for me to understand.
Yes, this exchange seems like it wasn't useful for White. Well, it's hard to say what will happen.
The fighting on the right side of the board is still a lot of things that could happen here.
Yes. One possibility is that Zen actually likes the center a lot. It values these kinds of stones very highly.
Yes.
Because later on, when White has this kind of thickness, it's easier for White to push the results on this side, make a fight and run the game into some set direction.
And of course, Black's unusual Shimari and corner enclosure in the upper left, that is,
Yes.
Doesn't really work well when White has outside thickness next to it, because White can jump in or
This
split
starts
the black
looking
stones
like
into
White
two,
might
yeah.
just split like this.
Yeah.
It might be two weak groups actually.
So, like in this kind of position, it's better if Black has more standard, a more natural, usual Shimari like this. Or
Connected
like this.
shape.
Yeah, this would be much better.
Of course, there is still the discussion of this cutting point here and how that relates to the black group. Ah, Prince has appeared. Some observer has been watching the Hikaru no Go appreciation program. Thank you. Ah, it went down 1%.
Without even playing a move, right?
Yes. I suppose it's making simulations all the time. Ah,
Oh,
it
yeah,
went back
so
again.
okay. So the computer that's watching the game is also making
Yes.
simulations.
At this point, it's probably running through tens of millions of iterations throughout the game. Ah, 来ました.
So he cut.
So this
And
should
White
be
has to connect here, yes. One would be tempted to capture the one stone, but that would be...
It's a really nice
bad,
shape for the
yeah.
center, but
This would just be too easy for Black to capture those three stones.
yes,
So White has to connect.
this makes for support.
Oh, yes. It might be better for Black to play the Atari on the other side. This way.
In that case,
This
yeah,
is much better.
this
yes.
Ponki would be
Much
very
better,
painful.
yes.
But if
And-
White
and
goes
this would
here,
capture,
in that
yes.
case, it's done. That is true, yes. In that case, we could actually call it a good exchange for Black. Then go back to Leila.
Yes.
Is it here? So if this happens now, the worry of Black getting cut from here has vanished. Exactly as you said.
Yeah.
Would White have other options here? For example, in order to live, so after all, White will get captured anyway, but well, territory-wise, Black's capture is quite big this way. White has to make this kind of attack immediately.
And there's
Still
a
a
cut
cutting.
here, yes. So this is probably playable for Black. Might be
Yes.
better for, yeah. Otherwise, there would be... This also would be... That would be better, yes. That would be better, but it would still be a similar
Yes.
result. Black would be able to capture the three stones.
Right. So it seems like it'll go with the one-way street.
White might sacrifice the three stones. I don't know which is better. I think this variation would just be too painful for
Yes.
white.
This is something you would never see in a professional game, I think.
It looks like black could maybe even take Sente by playing the Atari here.
Oh. Bumping here.
Oh, it's still that ko. Yeah, it's the same
Isn't it
ko.
the same
Excuse
one?
me. Yeah, it's the same ko that black might play this way because playing
There's
here is
still
such a big move.
Yes.
Otherwise,
And with this kind of strong shape over here, white's co threats actually are quite limited.
so I would sort of expect white to be throwing away the 3 stones, just to get more influence on the left side of the board.
So then we would expect this kind of a result. So
And
now
then-
this cutting point would disappear.
Yeah,
so
locally
maybe
that's a big move, but it might be better for white to start from this side though.
perhaps white might go this far and cut. Difficult to say.
Yeah. Maybe just like this.
Maybe into a thick shape, I see. If black can get this point, then it's good. But if white plays here, then the connection is. In that case, also white is not quite sure. This way, capture is quite small. So
Black would sacrifice the
Sacrifice
left
it.
stone, yes.
Cho Chikun is thinking at this point.
Having played this exchange on the upper side, I think he should continue with it now.
Yes. I suppose he is just checking his reading at this point, that nothing unexpected will happen.
Well, the other choice that black has is to play here, I guess.
In that case, it'll actually become the same as. Would white go down again?
And then here.
It's the same one as this. So again with the cutting point.
And if white plays, let's see, if white doesn't really have any other options, so does he?
He would have to play
maybe
something-
white would play something like this.
I
It would
see.
be very similar though. It would be basically the same thing.
It seems like more or less white has to go back here to defend. Well, this is better than Sagari.
But still there is the cut here.
Yes. Right now the letter is good, but. Well, I suppose it's the same one. Huh?
No, then white could play from this side. Maybe this is slightly better.
This would be the best position for the black stone, yes.
And then white would have Sente to move back here. This looks like it's the best variation I've showed for white so
Yes.
far.
Yeah, it's quite promising, in fact.
I would like to play with white in this game.
Black will have to defend on the lower side, then white does something here first.
Yes.
So finally, I suppose it has to be.
Well, in that case, it's quite similar when white
Yes.
plays the extension. Yeah.
Oh, right,
so,
right.
So white's basically, I think it's the best idea for white is to throw away the 3 stones.
Yes. Zen has still been thinking for quite limited time.
Yes.
1:41 left. Not even 20 minutes used.
And I think we must be almost 80 moves into the game, so that's pretty quick.
Yes.
About 2 moves, almost 2 moves a minute.
When I'm recording top professionals games, it's quite often that early game is 3 minutes per move, possibly even 5 sometimes. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was recording a Hirata with Yoseki. It was a 5 hours main time game, and then lunch break ended at 12:30, and game continues from 12:30 to 5:30, 5 hours. And the players actually only played 25 moves in all of that time. 12 minutes per move. Well, the players are of course thinking a lot, but for the game recorder it's quite...
You're supposed to think with them, of course.
Yes, yes.
But it's very difficult when it's not your own game. Well, nowadays, of course, they have only 3 hours, usually.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's much... even in Japan, they're playing much quicker.
Right. It depends on the stage of the tournament, right? Early preliminaries are 3 hours, and if it comes to final preliminary or league games, well, depending on the tournament, it's 3 or 5 hours.
And of course, Cho Chikun is famous for how when he was taking titles, he used a great amount of time.
Yes, he was one of the slower players.
And that was when they had something like 9 hours apiece in the
really?
championship matches. And so the games would be taking 2 days.
2 days easily.
When they were broadcasting it on TV, he would be playing no moves during the broadcast. So we would be doing hours of broadcasting the game, and there wouldn't be any difference in the position.
For the viewers, that would be kind of... I'm not sure if I would like to watch it, actually.
It was very difficult. I do remember there was a time I did a kind of a lesson on opening.
Oh.
Just working on the fact that he was playing the Chinese opening or something. So
I see. No other choice at that point, I suppose. Here he comes. Yes. I suppose he finished reading it. Now Zen should be playing in about 10 seconds. Here it comes. Extend as expected.
And now the question is how black... Maybe black wants to play once here. And
to include a cutting point in the shape.
Yeah, to create a cutting point. And black can win the semi-ice. Although white does have the all of this here is, even the Sarari here, I think is forcing.
Yes, it looks that way.
Assuming like this, assuming the Atari becomes a connection.
So this is here.
White, yeah. And then this would be like this.
Yes.
So now black wins by 1 move. Yeah, so that's a forcing move.
If a stone is here or not.
And so white has a very thick position towards the left, apart from the fact that there is a cutting point here. Oh, so this is how the game is developing. And of course white has to fill the liberty here, otherwise black can connect underneath. So
yes.
This is kind of a forced
one-way street. And it's crawl there, yes. There is no way to prevent the white descent from becoming center. No, there is not.
The only way to do it would be to give white the 1 stone here.
Yes. Yes. I suppose there is no meaning to bump here as white.
Well,
Black would have to go down.
Oh yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm.
And then finally it looks like just a bad exchange of
Bad
stones.
exchange, yeah. Okay, so
Now the bot gets to decide where to take this game.
but the cut is a very strong attack that
Yes.
black has in the center.
So do you think the Zen will play around here? Split black first.
I would expect something like this, maybe.
Make it
since
so
white
that-
does have the cut there
Yes.
to worry about. Yeah.
Make it so that black has no time to play there. If, for example, I suppose black
Makes
might want to
sense.
sacrifice it.
Yes.
Well, it's difficult to say if the white territory is big or not. But this way at least the cut could be prevented by capturing this way.
White might want to play a bit stronger, like this way.
Yes. Which again I suppose is attachment here. Now we can't play honey.
White would like to play this way. Looks like it might not be as clear cut as it was before.
Is that actually a ladder that works for black? Ah,
Oh,
no,
that way.
it's here. It has to be. It seems like white gets captured in the corner because of the honey.
Like this?
Yes. Or did I misread it? Well, assuming this is sent.
Ah, yes.
So the moment black plays Atari, white would cut.
Not really very decisive though for white. So yeah, I guess black's a bit more flexible than I thought. But white does have to worry about the cut here.
Yes. White is using the forcing moves around here now.
Otherwise, white could play deep into the corner.
So then similarly to what you showed before. It's a little bit difficult to decide block.
Yeah, and something like this. And this would, of course, erase the threat here.
Yes.
And black would probably...
Have to make extension.
But eventually white has to move back to the corner
Yes,
here.
that seems to be the pressing topic here all the time.
Yeah, it's been left a long time now.
It's almost like white is just trying to push the result of this side to the end, and then play as the final big move, the life there. There are no forcing moves left, so now white has to decide. Well, it might play all of this out, but 3-3 it is.
So a lot of the fighting has settled down now, since black is alive on the upper side.
Yes.
On the right side, black can play a move to make a live shape. And so since black's outside, white doesn't have a very strong attack here. Of course, all the white stones are strong now.
It seems like it might become a peaceful game from now
More
on.
peaceful. The left side is still big. And of course also the lower right. Now if white just peacefully connects underneath, I think black is planning to take sente here, because this would leave the forcing moves that give black a fairly strong shape. And so
Cut remains here, so
yeah.
white would have to go down.
Well, black would keep these in reserve, but
Yes.
eventually, since this would be forcing, it would be relatively easy for black to make a life.
Anytime with this shape,
Yeah.
basically.
So this would allow black the time to play on this side, which is a move he really wants to play. So white plays more aggressively.
So this should be bump and this kind of shape, perhaps.
Either bump or the hane, yes.
Hane.
Yes, hane is stronger.
Yes.
If white covers, then black will play here.
Then it becomes
It's
a good
slightly
exchange.
better, yeah.
White would also normally want to cut.
Or could push bump up here
Yes.
once. Black will answer that one.
Then trade the Atari for the connection. Big cutting point remains, so this kind of thing. This way, black's cut here is still sent against the corner, so this cut
Right.
remains as a
So
problem.
there's the cut there, yes.
You don't think white could cut here?
Oh, there? It's not that he can't cut, but black might...
Play the forcing moves from the outside.
I sort of expected that, but maybe it's playable. How is the ladder? The ladder is good for white, right?
Yes.
So it would be something like here,
Like playing there
and then
white connecting under, I suppose. Perhaps cut here.
that works. Yeah, and then here.
In this case, black would have a life in this area, so extension would be
He would be able to leave that.
yes without playing. Territory-wise, that corner is definitely the
It's
biggest one out of
it's
them all.
more than 20 points.
The game seems to be going. Zen is thinking here. Seems it played. It's a cut.
White cuts, yes.
Fighting this out does seem difficult for black. It doesn't seem like these two stones here could possibly escape.
Yeah, that would probably be an overplay.
At least the
Black
damage to the
could
left side would be.
Black could potentially escape. Why don't we try a variation? Let's say
Yes.
have black squeeze. And this way.
White will also want to connect that one. Corner is locally alive this way. And that's a press.
It looks like it's just too busy for black.
Yes.
Yeah.
White has almost no problems whatsoever. So it will have to be. Oh! Black made normal connection. Without.
Oh, that way. Yeah. Better not to play the squeeze, maybe. Now white will play here.
Yes. So this did not get traded.
Here again.
Yes.
So that's alive.
Yes, there's nothing.
Maybe he's going to cut here.
That would be severe. White cannot possibly sacrifice these 3 stones.
Which means that black can capture the upper side.
Yes. So does white extend or not? Just extend?
Maybe there. That looks pretty big, actually.
Even if white gets to play some kind of attacking move here, it's not completely captured, and
In the center, there's bad odds in the center.
Yes.
In this variation.
black can run through here.
So white started with this. This is okay, although it's maybe not completely alive. Now there is the question. Let's see. If white plays here, this is going to be a ko shape. It's not 100%
This
alive.
fashion.
Yeah. Maybe if white plays here, he can live.
Assuming that this is always
White
White
still
one here.
needs that, like
Yes.
if this happens. Maybe not, maybe it's okay.
if black peeps and then takes a liberty. What is the shape?
That's alive.
All right, even if this one, white plays Atari first.
And if black plays here, white can still live with this.
Yes.
So it's alive, yeah. And black would return, so it would be like this, maybe. Oh, he played the Kaketsugi first. This means that black can make a ko of it with this move.
That is a little bit surprising, in fact. It would be interesting to see the. It's still 58% for white. So the estimation has not changed all this time. Black 42, white 58. Cho and Ichiriki are going for the co-variation as well.
So if white covers, black can
Take the liberties out.
yeah, this would be well, white does have co-threats here.
I suppose if this gets traded, white is okay, yeah?
I'm not even sure about that.
Black still lives in Sentio, but I suppose the big factor is that black again gets this one corner.
White lost a lot in the upper left corner.
Yes. It's one of the cleanest shapes for capture, you can see. Nothing left.
So black has more than 50 points.
This
And-
capture counts to amount 20.
So I think this is good for black.
Yes, this is quite difficult for white to play.
Throwing away the two stones doesn't look so good either.
Yes, in that case this stone will lose its purpose.
Yeah. This kind of variation could happen, but
White does get Sente, but that's about the only good thing about
so
it.
white played elsewhere. This looks like a change of plan, actually.
So locally speaking, black can
Capture with a
Capture.
move like that.
which means
in
all of these will be.
That would, yeah, white
forcing-
would have potential to squeeze. I think in an actual game, black would be more likely to play this one.
Yes. In
even
which
though it leaves
case,
a potential ko.
it's still kind of
Yeah,
call later.
but black is safe anyway. And there's the cut here that black can use.
Yes,
And so I would want to play it this way.
definitely. If white gets these 2 points here in center,
If white gets to
Please.
squeeze, then it would be relatively small to capture the corner.
yes.
White played once here. This sort of indicates that white's going to move to the lower right corner fairly soon, which I've been waiting for it to happen for a while now.
Since the opening, actually.
Yeah. But this whole thing in the upper left corner, it looks like actually maybe Zen misread the position.
It looks like a failure, yes.
Yeah.
The way that white is playing moves here, if black gets this extension, it doesn't seem like they
They're
will do
pretty
much good.
wasted, yeah. So
Is white going to play from this side instead and sacrifice this corner as well? Is there any kind of... Well, he could use them for co-threats, I suppose.
yes. The problem for white is that that ko is not so. It's not as if black loses everything with that ko.
Yes. And black also does have plenty
Co-threats
of
on the
local
outside,
co-threats.
And also, this black group is actually fairly strong.
As we were saying earlier on, yes. This cut here.
And so white does not have so many forcing moves against the black group. And I think black is actually hoping eventually to extend here and counterattack in the center. So
that will actually be severe.
It's beginning to look better for black now.
Ichiriki is also going through the same variation. If black gets to go out here, it'll be dangerous. It does actually seem like white is going to be in many small pieces.
Problem is that this group does not have, white has maybe one eye.
I suppose white can play this, this black stone here.
Yes. White can make one eye in the corner, but not two. So all this pushing that black is doing looks like it's preparing for this move.
And white's direction of play is still, it's difficult to say if it's good or not, if black is going to play here anyway.
It all depends on how successful this is. Like
Yes.
if white tries the geta here, this looks like it's not going to be captured.
Let that be extension here, but have to be connected.
And even with this forcing move, it's not going to work for
It doesn't
white.
help.
Yeah,
Black can even answer.
yeah. Black pushed once more. White played Hane. Excuse me. White Hane'd at this point. Yeah. So white would have to answer this kind of move with something like the jump here, and hope to attack these stones while black runs out. Black would play here.
Turn here, something like.
And the question is, does black have to go back to this side?
I see.
But it looks very dangerous for white. And with this stone here, I think it's a very immediate danger for white.
Now it almost seems like white has to go back to defend, in which case this is going to be all cut up. Double Hane. I suppose that's the most severe way of play here.
It's still difficult to see exactly what white is trying to do.
Let's say if it was some kind of peep over here, I suppose black will just take a stone here.
Black could do that. Maybe black will play this side.
That side.
This is,
Ah,
again, it's going to, well, this is sort of forcing, maybe it's not forcing anymore. But just
So
assuming something like this maybe even. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. Maybe black would start with this side.
defending in Sente or Gote in this area would be very big. White did
But
play
this
the
move,
peep.
it does sort of get rid of the extension here.
Yes.
So that's the meaning of the peep here.
And in the meanwhile, white is kind of trying to stop black from playing this kind of Hane.
Yes.
Having
it's-
these
yeah.
two stones here make it a little bit stronger for white. Ah,
He played
that's
here
a thick
immediately.
move.
White has to answer that because of the cut on the left here. So white would probably connect like this.
Now it starts seeming like this area has become thick for black. Even if white starts a call, something will turn out.
I would sort of like to try this move. If white plays on this side,
Block there and if black is to
white
extend
has to
here,
come
it will
back
be very
there, yeah.
painful.
so maybe something like this.
I see.
If white plays this way, maybe this is better.
Is there a little bit something later?
Yeah.
Yes. If these 2 stones will get captured.
Mm-hmm.
Black is instantly alive.
Well, otherwise the other Tetsuji is this one. Maybe here.
Stand.
Yeah.
And then the cut disappears.
Mm-hmm.
That was powerful. Ah, black took it.
Oh, this way. That kills it.
Feels like there will be something
There's a bit
later on if white has
yeah.
anything here.
Well, this one, I guess it depends partly on the hane.
Yes, if white has hane in center in this shape.
This is going to be some kind of a koi.
Is this jump is the shape? That looks like koi, yes?
Yes.
Atari and white goes down.
And this shape doesn't work for white. This would be dead, because black wins this anyway.
Connect and then it's run from outside.
Yeah, so this way black wins by 1 move. So that's no good for white. But white, with the hane here, which usually you can expect the hane to be forcing. So with the hane there, white can make a ko of this.
Yes.
This way, black will slide. And again, if the hane is forcing, now this just becomes a fight to capture. It's not going to live.
Might this be better for liberties for white?
Oh, this way, yeah. But in either case, it looks
Yes.
like this is not going to be good enough to win.
Black has something like 6, 7 outer liberties.
So, so white's threat here is probably the solid connection. And that's why I would have played this way, which would have no threat left. So it sort of took me by surprise.
Going down here almost feels like black is trying to attack white's group here, but it's all connected out.
It's run away already, yeah.
Territory-wise, it shouldn't be better. Ah, white did play.
Mm-hmm.
Cho Chikun's. That's a good point.
This corner bothers me. If I've read it out correctly, it is a problem for black, though, if white does do this.
Doesn't seem like there should be a non-core way.
With the hane here forcing.
Yes. Attachment also.
Whatever he does, yeah, even this one, it depends sort of on the hane.
Kosumi attachment. Yes. So let's
This
see.
would be a
Go
ko
down.
at least.
But for black to play one more move also is
Oh, he did play here.
ah, seems like Cho Chikun is having trouble.
He sounds upset with himself.
Yes. Did he miss the move or?
It could be. He acts like that sometimes when he's winning too, but
True.
I think he made a mistake here.
It does seem like a misread. So assuming we have these two.
It's a, yeah, it looks like it's a ko.
Here is a very difficult Smego practice for the viewers.
Black would probably have to play this way.
To make eye shape over there.
Yeah, after this, yeah. And white would still... Well, no, actually in this case white would be able to play this one.
That becomes just strictly
No,
alive.
it's alive, yeah, so...
Black cannot exchange that one, but...
so this ko would... Black's whole life here would depend on it. So that's troublesome. Now, of course, if this becomes a ko, it's a very dangerous position for black, because white does have a lot of ko threats elsewhere.
Like black cannot even use this one, most likely.
Maybe,
it'll
yeah,
be a big loss.
Clearly better that black could have taken it without the ko.
Yes.
In which case, maybe white would have moved to this side, but still this would be a big move. Later.
All of these white moves are still...
Or black could... I think black would potentially have a lead in this position, but I'm not so sure about this one. In which case there's this ko here. It's actually not such a difficult move, so it's pretty unusual
for Cho Chikun
to miss that.
It might be that we will get to wait Cho Chikun's move for some time now.
Yes.
文明名人1時間使いました。1時間です。
バカな。ああ。負けにしたかこれはね。ありゃまあ。あ、ひどいな。あ、ひどいな。いけねえ。あ、ひどいな。何をやるんだね。ひどいね、これは。何をやるのかな。我が輩は猫でやるか。ひどかったな、これは。ひどいね。我が輩は猫であるか。我が輩は猫である。我が輩はバカである。バカ言ってんじゃないわだね。ひどいな。もう嫌になっちゃうね。いいね。また間違えそうだな、なんだか知らないけど。ひどいね、これは。ありゃまあ、バカだな、もう本当に。嫌になっちゃうよね。嫌になっちゃうよ。
Okay, sort of unexpected developments.
Quite interesting, all right.
Originally, I'll go back to say that black should have played here to capture the corner. This was supposed to be about 20 points of black territory.
Yes.
So this was a mistake. And white had this move left. Black plays here. And so far this agrees with my reading, but this is wrong. So it looks like Zen has made a mistake in return for Cho Chikun's mistake, because white could play a hane here once and make a ko of it. And basically this move doesn't work because black will win this semi by one move. So black wins this semi.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So usually this is a kind of if we assume that in a tsumego position, this would be a dead shape, because this move would be countered with this move, and it would die.
Yes.
But since this is forcing, white can play here. If now black plays here, if black throws in here, it's going to be a ko. Otherwise, if black just takes the stones here, again, this is going to be something like a ko. Or maybe even white can make a life. Yeah, if white plays here.
This is live, yes.
So, either that ko, in which black throws in here, or if black plays the atari from this side,
there's also a connection on the first line.
this is another ko on this side. So it's going to be one of these two ko's, which would be very serious for black, because the whole black group here is in danger, and white has ko threats elsewhere on the board. So I wasn't really sure how this was going to turn out. But
now it seems like
since white has answered here, now this is going to be easy for black to kill. Black can play here, or black can play here. Either way, it's going to die. Even if black plays the hanetsugi first. I'm not really sure which is the best choice, but even this way, black's going to win the semi-ai.
by one move again. It doesn't make sense overall, but could it be possible that white is going to sacrifice the corner and get forcing moves on this side?
Well, there is some potential there, but it's not.
It's a loss no matter what.
Yeah. Obviously, the ko is much better for white, and I don't think white really gets so many forcing moves.
Yes.
In this variation. I'm not really sure which is. Maybe this is the correct way. In this case, if white plays here, black can.
Then even if something like attachment here occurred,
white has 5 liberties. I guess white can squeeze. Yes.
white can actually. Wait, is it dead already? It seems. Ah, no, there's 2 here, so it's all center.
Yeah, it's all center. So now if black plays this way,
Maybe white. Is it good to have that?
maybe like
I see.
this.
And then again that side.
So this is center for black. So
Yes.
this is the better way to capture.
What if white doesn't play Atari and simply goes through at that
It's the
side?
same thing.
Same thing.
It's the same thing, I think.
Yes, it is.
So black is winning, but yeah. So this is the correct way to capture white. So this was very lucky for Cho Chikun. And I'm getting the feeling that maybe Zen has a weakness in reading.
That seems
Although
to be.
in the overall position, it was. It started out. It looked like it was doing fairly well.
Yes.
But maybe some weakness, and like what happened in
This
the upper
corner
left
as
corner
well,
also looks like it's not correct.
I suppose normally speaking, white should have just lived without making the exchange to make it into a core.
Yes.
Very possible that it has the same kind of weakness for core as AlphaGo used to have.
So now the situation is that black has captured this white group, And it's going to be less than 20 points, close to 20 points, but less. Oh, white connected. That doesn't seem to be very good.
It seems to lose more points. Is that possible?
It loses points, yeah, and it loses
Now the corner is
potential
22.
squeeze. White does have something like a 5-move approach call, which is a bit too far to be really count as anything.
If it's a 2-move approach, it's still almost nothing. 5 is...
いいよ
There's actually a proverb, a Go proverb that says that a three-move approach ko is not a ko.
It's not a ko.
It's not. It doesn't count basically.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah. There are some exceptions, but usually you just don't have enough ko threats to make it work.
Yes. So now white played Hanedashi here.
The one thing white got out of this is that there's a forcing move here, and so it's relatively difficult for black to make 2 eyes now. Black probably just has 1 eye.
Right.
Because white can force with this to connect underneath. But of course, playing all these moves first was a great loss, so it was bad order of moves. And so this gives black the option to do something like this at this point.
Simply leave
to
the
erase
center.
the cut. Yeah.
Yes.
And since white's not completely alive either, black should be able to handle these stones. Looking at the territory, this is something, let's see, it's the way white's played, it's about 20 points now.
Yes.
So black has about 15 points, probably hasn't played this, excuse me. About 15 points here. And we don't really know what's going to happen in this corner. Black has some territory there.
Depends
So,
on how black manages to defend it, the center.
And black has more potential than white on the left side too. So I'd say 35, 40, 50, somewhere in the vicinity of 50 points, just as a rough estimate. And all the white territory is basically on the lower
This
side.
one. That'll be 30 maybe.
It's about 30 points at this point. And white has some territory in the center. So, and since white has some liabilities in the upper left also, it's more black's territory than it is white's.
Yes.
It's still looking good for black now. It all depended on what happened in the lower right corner. So Cho Chikun was very lucky that it didn't turn into a ko.
Which would have made it very difficult for black
Yeah.
or white.
It should have been a ko.
Yes. That side. I suppose as far as for white's game plan, it looks like white has to make this stone be of some use in the following fight. But as long as this remains here,
Yes.
the corner is ko no matter what. Well, white did gain some ko threats for this one, I suppose. Not so many actually.
The way white's played, he doesn't have a squeeze, so he doesn't have any ko threats either.
Yes, it's basically only 2.
Yeah. And playing this ko threat loses
The aji of that one
yeah.
as well.
So at this point, it's probably more reasonable for white just to throw away these 2 stones.
I suppose.
Yeah. White has to pull back here.
It would be interesting to see Zen's estimate of the winning percentage here. I think it'll still be diluted.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Zen will think that it's about 60 or maybe 58. Then if everything goes fine for black, maybe in 40 moves, 50 moves, it'll suddenly come crashing down.
Well, if it has a weakness in reading, then it might be making a mistake in evaluating some of these corners.
That would be most likely it, yes. Then basically once it realizes that this wasn't the situation after all, it will have to redo it all, and the numbers will crash down. Cho Chikun did quiet down quite a bit.
Yes, he's quiet now that he was sort of let off the hook.
Yes.
He was very lucky in the lower right corner, where he should have died. Well, it should have been a ko, which would have been pretty bad for black.
Is black going to cut here?
Well, that's he can do that with sente. So that's one way to play.
Cut remains for the time being.
That would make for a lot of territory on the left side.
Yes. Something like
White would have to play something like this.
Kasumi there.
Yeah.
And then I suppose black would come back to...
Black doesn't really need to do that. Black could play on this side because he can make a lie here.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
So
I think he's going to be okay.
yes. It was a cut. No matter what, it seems like white cannot allow this to
White
happen.
cannot allow that cut, so White has to protect. White played the keima.
Faster shape.
That's bad shape.
If
Black
black
will answer.
answers...
Black will answer. Still has a cut.
Yes.
Now, if Black cuts here and here, yes, that looks like it captures the White group.
Even this way.
So White has to continue. So it's maybe more territory though.
If this hane is severe on black, then perhaps...
Then maybe just here. So maybe it's a more territory for White than just playing the kosumi.
It's possible.
Maybe there is some meaning to that.
I think normal people would usually want to play this way and then cut black play. But perhaps in that case, black can just live in the corner, and because this area is thick anyway.
Otherwise, Black could play the keikoshi here, the attachment.
I see.
Maybe this is better. This could turn into a kind of a trade. I don't really think Black has to worry about the center group though. It looks pretty safe. I mean the right side group, yeah.
Even if white cuts, if there's an eye here
He has an eye
and
here
an eye
and an
there,
eye there, yeah. Even if we give White this forcing move,
yes,
it looks
it
like Black's
doesn't
will
seem
be
to
okay.
change, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, black should be fine.
Like, just to give the exact position, like it would be like this. If White cuts here, maybe Black would start with this move, making an eye on the right side.
White will have to...
Next,
That's live, so...
next Black can force with this because White's not alive, and then cut here to make the second eye. Or Black could play here and here to make an eye, well,
Assuming if there's a stone here, for example.
Yeah.
So
and an eye in the center. So for the time being, Black's okay there.
yes.
So, yeah. Question is, maybe Black wants to play once here. And if White pushes through here, then Black will play here. And this would be bad for White because the cut would still be there.
White still has to capture, and now black defended it, everything.
Yeah, that would be bad for White. But White, we have to consider what happens if White plays something like this, making miai of the combination of this kind of thing.
Right.
Oops. Oh yes, that is forced. Well, White would play here then.
And then white would go out, and now it would be a mess with this kind of weakness over here.
This could get complicated.
Yes.
Because the cut here is going to be forcing, and White might be able to capture these 3 stones.
Black will probably want to avoid this way of play.
Maybe, maybe.
Shape-wise, it is the move that you would want to play. However,
Well, otherwise, this one would,
yes,
white would be getting a bit more territory.
yes.
Yeah, this is maybe actually efficient for white.
A little bit surprising when you think about it, but it's a response there, and
時間がないね
then I suppose white will come back to this
Yes.
corner.
And if we look at the this was about 20 points, so that makes it
50.
35. If we have this exchange, I'm not sure which way.
Oh, it doesn't change.
40, 60, almost 70 points for black.
Yes. 70 seems difficult for white to get from this card. Well, this has become like what?
Wow.
40.
This could be
45.
fairly, let's see, that's,
Endgame here is big.
it could be a bit more than 40, well, somewhere in the vicinity of 40. So it looks like it might be difficult for white to catch up.
Yes.
But we have a completely different thing happening here. Excuse me. So he cut.
Cut immediately.
Now white has two directions to play Atari. Usually white will play here, but then
Jump here is the most normal. Has to be connected, I suppose.
doesn't really seem to work for black though. But white played the other way. This one also seems,
This might be more straightforward.
and black's only shape is to play here, after which white can play here. So maybe this doesn't really work.
ベンチがお前があるから
What will this be? Black plays wedge. Oh, that's a capture
Oh,
already.
that one. So even the
Oh.
peep is forcing.
That makes it quite dangerous
Maybe
for white. In
more
fact,
dangerous for white, yeah. So
Wait.
maybe, let's see.
but there's not many options, is there? Try to Hane to make it fixed.
This time maybe black would not do that though. Maybe black would
Cut
play
like this.
ねからないね
So then white will go to this area.
In
This
this
is
fight,
difficult.
black would be maybe. Well, I don't really know what's going to happen. This is very complicated, but looks playable for black maybe. And here.
That has to
maybe
be a
here.
I see.
Was the covering forcing?
Should be first.
Yeah, it's forcing. So this side will work for black, but the question is what's happening in the center of the board. And there's this ko here that we still have to remember. So the whole area here,
It's becoming incredibly
we're not
complicated.
sure what's going to happen. Yeah.
If black gets split in many small parts, it might be that the core is actually dangerous. Well, assuming that this still survives.
But it still looks like black could get away with some kind of a trade, since black's gaining so much on the lower side.
Yes.
So black is sort of tempted to try this variation. But I think he has the feeling that he's supposed to be ahead at this point. And so
He will not want to complicate matters.
maybe, well, that's what the normal Go player would feel.
Yes.
But Cho Chikun likes to mix things up, so I think he would want to try that variation.
なるほどね
Hmm.
keeps going through the same variation. He's assuming Hane. Could that possibly be dangerous for black?
Oh, that one, yes.
This has to be connected. Around this time, but one more exchange, it seems like. It looks quite doable for black.
Yeah, I think black can
This area is
win this
big,
fight, yes.
and this group will live in the corner or kill white.
For the time being, it's sort of difficult for white to make a life.
Yes. Ah, even that.
Even locally, it's a bit cramped.
分かんなくて
And so black should have enough time to protect his weaknesses.
This might
Yeah,
become
it
black.
might even go that way, yeah. And even if we assume white gets a life in Gote, then black would be able to move
Yes,
move back to the
it's
center.
still not a big deal.
Yeah. I think this would be a good variation for black. And the whole center here is still not completely alive. And
This here is a
reduced
swing of
to-
20 points.
Yeah. This is reduced to less than 30 now. So black has a lead in territory in this
Yes. And there's not much white can do to actually catch up anymore.
Yeah, so I would be very tempted to play
Go
this
out and-
variation. Yes.
In fact, if you make the cut, if you play the cut, it might be a loss if black doesn't go out, I suppose.
Well, it's white's territory anyway, so it's hard to say. But
If black went back now.
this might be another way to play it.
Ah, I see, so leave the capture there. And then.
And then we'd have to count.
Previously, though, it was
It's
like.
almost 50 now.
It used to be like this earlier, with this not being
But black
here.
gained the
so
move, yes. So in a way, black has gained a move there.
Right.
And so this is about 50, and let's say black finishes this off now. So white would have to do that first. But it's not going to be Sente, is it?
Then the timing is harder.
And black would slide into the
These
corner.
two are here. This way also, white shouldn't be having enough territory.
But if we assume this, white has about almost 50 here. But this is going to die now. Black
Extend
might even
inside,
take it
yes.
this way. So that's more than 40 just here. And so it's 55, 75. And white doesn't have
50
any other
here and
territory.
this one.
So this is good for black.
Yes.
So this is another thing that black can be considering. So it does have some meaning even if black plays the safe way.
I see.
But I would still be tempted to move out. And I think he still has almost 40 minutes, or more than half an hour
Yes.
on his clock. So he's probably going to spend most of the time thinking about that.
This would be one of those moments that you can actually just read the game until the end and try to figure out the easiest way to keep control.
In a way, yeah. It's still a lot of Yosei moves to read.
Yes.
But
For the last big decision, this might be it. This fight is still existing, but
there's the ko there. The ko there is relatively less dangerous
yes,
because black can choose at the time whether he wants to play aggressively or
and
not.
black will not be in trouble in any case. Oh, here he came. Oh, he didn't play.
It sounded like he played a
Yes.
move maybe, but maybe
He
not.
didn't.
Yeah. Oh no, black did. Let's see. Black played this move now. We just left it on the board by
I see.
mistake. Yes. So that's a relatively safe move, meaning that by playing this one move, black is assured that the right side black group is not going to die. So in that way, it's a very safe move. And if white plays here, black can still make some life in the corner.
Attaching
maybe
first.
like that, yes.
Something like double hane.
Or the ko. The ko might be good.
There's still aji here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And white played in the upper left corner now.
And then black went out. So this way the 3 stones should be captured by now. If white goes out, it seems like...
Maybe. It seems reasonable for white to sort of throw them away.
Yes.
It's still complicated if white... Let's go back to that variation that we were doing.
With the hane.
Might be that white could play this way.
Oh, I see. So black has to capture, but in
If
that
black
case...
pushes through, this
yes.
is bad for black. Because white can capture the group. So, black takes 1 stone, and white connects. Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure whether this will live, though.
doesn't even have 1 eye somehow. Does white have some thinness around? Well, it's difficult to use. Not so promising for black somehow. So perhaps it would have to be something more like this. Connect. There it goes.
I'm not sure about that. This would
is
be
very
maybe a
difficult to read,
ko at least.
The honey. Look.
Looks dangerous for black, actually.
So basically this and
This is dangerous
yes,
for black.
this is done.
Yeah. So white did escape.
If the direct turn doesn't work, black might try preparing as well, yes. This will be extended, I suppose. Even then, black...
It doesn't really work anymore. Now this is always
defended that way.
defended that way, yeah. So it doesn't work anymore.
Maybe Kosumi attachment. It's very bad style, but... Well, this goes... Is it this side?
Maybe from the Atari. Oh, he played the attachment. It could be the same variation, actually. If white covers on the 3-3 point, then it's going to be the same variation.
Yes.
Yeah.
If white extends, then...
Then black would extend into the 3-3 point. So it's
Yes.
hard to say whether this is better or the other variation is better for
Right.
white. This would be about 35 points on the lower side. So white has about 40 plus the upper left, so it's 45, 20, 35. Looks like black has
almost
more
40.
territory.
35 plus here.
So it's 50, 70, almost 70. So black does have more territory.
And there is also not much more to discuss in this game.
And if we assume this is going to be answered here, then these 2 points are miai. So black doesn't have to worry about that very much.
Could white maybe try to get some endgame in this fashion?
White could get some endgame, yes.
How far is it? There's some cut
yeah.
here, however.
Slightly,
Yes,
it
I
looks a
suppose
bit thin.
white would normally speaking.
Then it would be a
Yes.
small difference in the black territory.
Not much to go for in any case.
So white extended.
This shape should be cut here. Is down.
Yes. But he connected. Connecting is also looking at the damizumari here. If black can play the hane here, then he has this kind of thing later, depending on how white plays it. So there's the double Atari there. So white has to be careful of that.
But we'd almost want to connect here, simply.
Maybe this is actually better for black. It's more territory, maybe. If we assume it's like this. It's more territory for black.
actually
than the
seems
other
like yes.
variation. Yeah.
These has become blacks.
White has lost about 4 points here. Gained 4 points here. But black's gained some more here. So this is better for black.
Cho Chikun has 28 minutes remaining. Chen hasn't used so much time even now.
Yes. It's going to end with a lot of time left. Otherwise, black could push through here and just connect.
And in that case there would be a cut.
And then there would be a capture in the corner.
So white would have to play this kind of connection here.
Otherwise, white could pull back here. This might be better.
It's one more difference, but there's some loss in territory, I suppose.
Maybe black would play the hane in this case. I sort of want to push through once here with black to see how white responds.
Then I suppose white plays thickly here, and
Yes.
well,
It doesn't. Yeah, that's okay this time. Yeah.
this might be the best one for black. from what we saw
About
so
38
far.
points. It's almost 50. It's 20.
Yes. Zen believes it's 60% winning.
Oh, it still believes it's winning.
Yes, and even more than before.
Ah, yes.
But I don't believe that's possible, no matter how you look at this board.
Yeah, I would expect it's misjudged the lower right corner.
Probably it's not clear about it even then. Maybe it thinks there's some kind of endgame call remaining. That 5-step one. The black didn't push in.
Well, white has to answer this.
The double
so
Atari still exists.
Black next has this move.
Ah, even that one.
So, yeah, white does have to answer
Yes.
this. I guess
The
white
connection.
would play here. So maybe this is Sente. So maybe it's better. Yeah.
Then, is there any bigger point than this one though?
It's big. Black would probably play that. That's usually Sente. Oh, yeah, well then it would be Bote.
White might go down, but in that case, black would play
Maybe
around
white
here,
would
perhaps.
play once here
Ah, I
first.
see.
Usually, this is going to be forcing.
Yes.
And if it's black's turn, black would maybe
Yes.
play this one. Yeah.
Aim at the cut remaining. This would be almost over. There's just a small endgame left, but the score would not change anymore. Fights seem to be done.
And it looks like black's ahead. And also white played the Hane. Sort of looks like an attempt to take Sente.
I see. Is the capture? Yes. It seems to me like white is losing points, however. Is there perhaps some...
Maybe some Maji there.
Gee.
Yeah, it might be safer
To get
for black
this
to
one.
play this way.
Then this would be pretty much the same as... It's one more
And he
difference.
has the option of playing that way just to be safe right now. Although it would be a
it
slight
doesn't
loss
change.
of territory.
So it would be connection.
Let's see what happens if this,
Right, but white cannot cut here anyway.
probably not, yeah.
In that case it'll be the same. Well, 2 points difference.
No, white is played here. So if
Ah.
white can't connect, it doesn't really
it's
make
the
much
same.
difference. Yeah.
That's right. Now back to 58%. 59. Still oscillating quite a bit. Good. So Cho picked the safe way. $62. Jumped just now.
That exchange is a slight loss in territory for white. Would it been better for white to just extend down? And then black would only have 10 points, so a total of about 15 points. This way,
is it 12 now?
in order to squeeze, white has to play here, so it's 12 points there locally.
2 points
And
lost.
then it's and a gain of 2 points for black. So this was actually a loss. It was better for white to play straight down. But of course, I think all of the computer programs at this point, the ones that use the neural networks and stuff, have a weakness in the reading of these local positions.
Yes, they cannot actually count the points values very strictly.
And I noticed even AlphaGo was playing incorrect local moves.
Yes.
But since it was always leading in the game, it didn't make any difference to the
Finally.
expected result.
But there doesn't seem to be an actual bot which can optimize the end game for both sides.
No, not the end game. I don't think there's an end game robot, no.
Yes.
There is a robot that reads Tsumego problems, of course.
Yes.
Candidate Tsumego problem.
The recent one, Panda Sensei, was it? This kind of 2 points mistake in the end game is, against a professional player, it's usually quite big.
It usually is, yes.
I remember reading something like, I think it's from Go World many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, where Kobayashi Koichi was playing some kind of a big ladder variation, and he made a mistake and lost like 3 points in the opening. Absolute 3 points that cannot be gained back. And his comment after the game was that he was about to resign there. When it's a fighting move in the center that has some influence and some thickness, it's always difficult to say how much you're losing or gaining. But this kind of move here is just 2 points absolute, 1/3 of the komi. That'll be very difficult to get back.
Yes. Oh, Zen is down to 56% winning percentage. Maybe it realized that it was making a mistake.
It might be that from now on it'll actually keep going down. It'll slowly start realizing that things are not working out.
And we still have the potential ko here.
When black throws in and plays the Atari, white will fight it.
Maybe, I think black will play this way.
And like this.
Oh, he threw in. Oh, sorry. I was a bit worried about that one liberty, though. But of course, after this ko, black has the jump here, which will, or actually might even, let's see.
Cut.
No, the cut doesn't quite work, but the jump does work.
Then jump here and capture 2 stones.
Yeah, that's big. And so,
White captured and...
well, in that case, it doesn't really, it didn't really work for white, though.
White is connected on the first line, so is it possible then that white will try to go all the way in here?
Yes. See, this is forcing.
White has to defend in the center or something like this. Maybe capture.
He just took the 2 stones.
I suppose the territory will be the same.
White doesn't need to answer that, yeah.
Extend once and... does seem like black is fine here.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And going for a trade at this point would be definitely unreasonable. Let's say, for example, white defends here.
This looks much bigger. Can white make eyes?
White doesn't
Sort of
like-
got it. Oh, with the jump here, that does work. Excuse me. So black needs to do something about. Oh, so that's a good move then. We'll have to be a bit more careful with. What if black starts with
Start
this
from
side?
there, and then when white plays this one, then
Then the hane.
perhaps. Ah, but if white goes out,
Oh, excuse me. He played this way. Let's see.
that's
It looks like black should have something here. But I'm not sure exactly how it works. Maybe this way.
so next either cut here or go out here seems
Yes.
to work.
Yes.
This looks like trouble for white.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, played empty triangle.
Yeah. Now, if black extends here, white can capture it with this. However, even in this variation, then there's the question of whether this is alive, of course. So that kills that side.
Yes.
But now black doesn't have ice space, right?
So this cut will be again different.
And this is going to be forcing. So this looks like it could be dangerous.
So in fact, white's moves around here will be center. Assuming that way, then the RG actually doesn't exist so much.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not that serious. It still looks like black should have something here. Let's see.
Overall, white's shape is fishy. Assuming that's a connection.
Oh, maybe it doesn't work. Sorry about that. Looks like I made a mistake. Maybe it doesn't work. Of course,
So
black could
white will
probably
block on this
capture
side.
the two stones.
Right. But in
Or
that
maybe
case,
not.
black still has to go back to the left side to defend.
Okay. So maybe it's connected.
In that case, black is actually taking quite a lot of territory. That meaning is black simply going to live?
Locally, he has to do that. I'm still. And then these 2 points would be miai. So it's it would end up being sort of like this.
And then something like go down here should be sent. Ah, maybe not.
超畜名有名人の国チキンです。
In this case, black's left side actually gets quite a bit smaller.
It is smaller, yes.
It's become 24, 24. And white didn't take a loss anywhere. Well, if white gets time to play here. Now Zen thinks it's 54%.
This is closer. This is closer than before.
Yes.
Yes.
We might still have an endgame fight remaining. I guess we'll get this then. There is no meaning to simply turn, is there?
White wouldn't be able to kill those stones. Oh, you mean with this?
Possibly it's a bit too far. It's a bit too far no matter what.
This way.
Yes.
Yes, maybe.
As
Well,
far
but
as
he's
the
already played the
cotton
cover.
center.
It doesn't really make much difference, though. White could still try this.
It doesn't make a difference, yes.
But it's not necessarily very big, maybe, compared to this stone.
Yes. So black will just simply cut here and take a big plate
the corner,
there.
yes.
Yes, that's right. That's how it should be.
Ah, white did connect.
Huh. Does it go out? Well, cut. It'll be all the same. Because this move here is center.
Yes,
So
white
he
can
can
connect
still-
underneath. Yes.
And if that happens, black has a cut here and this group is not alive yet.
Well, once
So
black's
this-
played here, it's going to be okay, I think.
Ah yes, this is our center.
Yeah.
It did become exciting. Meanwhile, Zen's estimation has dropped to 51% now.
It is a much closer game. White has gained a lot of territory.
Yes. But in the meanwhile, Zen's estimation is kind of the opposite. It always thought it was leading, and now it's getting back to even.
Looks so much like black should have something in the center.
It looks like white is just barely hanging, trying to hang in there with the shape. White has one gote eye in the
corner, yeah.
yes.
Not quite.
The white's territory is like 50. We counted, not including Komi.
Could actually be a bit more because this is 14.
Still a little bit difficult to say how much this will be.
And it's not very much.
Yes,
There's a bit.
might be almost 0.
Yeah.
Black side, that's still 20.
Ah, 息の時間がないね。何分？
残り15分です。
Territory-wise, it's actually quite close.
It's pretty
now that I
close,
counted.
yes. So this threatens to run away in the center. I think if black runs away now, white will be in trouble.
It does look that way. One eye in the corner. White will have cutting points all around in this case.
And so even if white can connect up here, white doesn't have any eyes. So this would just
Peep
fall
here,
apart. Yeah.
go through.
Yes.
That's over.
So white can't do that. White cannot allow that.
10分。
Is it hanging connection maybe?
With the hanging connection, now
It's
black
still a
can
little
push
bit thin.
through. And he has this
This
threat.
is.
So maybe he has to do that
I
later.
see.
Yeah.
But in case.
Was that wrong? Wait a moment. I guess from here.
It seems to work.
And the push through here next.
Yes. But in case white is not able to connect here, black will have taken profit in.
Then played here. So this is kind of a probing move, seeing how black connects. On the left side, it might be better for black just to play underneath here when he does play, to make a sente connection.
So next the capture would remain here.
So white would answer maybe.
Yes.
And how does
And
the
that
center?
too.
Now if black plays here, it's probably not going to work.
なかなかないなって。
That would still allow this though. So maybe white plays here.
And then it's a question of if black can run that way. This would be a block here. Black doesn't have liberties for anything complicated, it seems like.
That looks bad for black. So so that's the meaning of this move.
If it's, for example, just this kind of connecting move here, then I suppose white would respond easily.
It's not a very good connection.
Yes, this way is better. It is.
Uh,
Even that one still
yeah.
has later
Still white would be
some
able to
annoying
force
things.
with this.
Yes.
So that's the meaning of white's move.
Cho Chikun has 14 minutes left. Ah, 11 minutes.
White came immediately. Well, against this, let's see, black can play this way maybe.
Then in case white played a cut, black would play on that side.
This would be bad for white.
Take out from here. So white would have to run out.
And that's, well, white has to come back
Yes.
here. So that's good enough for black. It's not really that.
It's a connection in center,
Yeah.
and end game remains here with the capture of the two stones. Probably this way, if black now takes the last big point over here. That should give black a good
There's
feeling.
even the question of.
Is it alive?
So black, even this would be very big because it would everything
Threaten the eyes of the...
everything would be sent after that.
Yes.
Black could even connect here, and it wouldn't be profitable for white to go after the two stones, maybe. But I think it's better maybe to play this side.
It does seem like a key point for destroying the white shape in that area.
He played once here. Luckily, white has to answer this.
Yes.
And he's probably going to play here next. Unless he has a more strong move. Let's see, does this work?
Is that like a white extension? But with this kind of hurry over here, it's dangerous. I take liberties out. It seems like that's a black win.
Black wins, yeah.
Maybe not in that case. No, it's...
This is bad for white too.
That is also black is out.
So this is maybe better.
Even like this way, isn't there something? Ah, maybe not.
Ah, yes.
Just yes.
And then here.
So white has to make direct connection for liberties, in which case
Oh no,
black
I'm
gets
sorry,
connected.
this is a keystone, so it doesn't work. So that doesn't work. So maybe white can play here and capture these.
So in that case it would be like this one and capture this way. Yeah?
So this doesn't work.
Yes.
So white, I guess black has to choose this one.
Yes, he played.
Come on. Oh. This looks dangerous for white.
Wait, so white will have to capture, black goes out.
No, white cut. This would be just dead. So white cut. So white's going to try to squeeze the black one.
It looks like another loss in points though.
White has to start from this side.
Ah.
So it's like that. And this looks pretty big, actually.
The center that used to be white's kind of potential.
Okay, let's have white play this now.
Yes. Goes down.
And then here. So it's black's turn. Maybe we can make a count.
Push, yes. Let's see. This is a little bit for black. Is it still even?
Actually, I think white might have more in this variation. So maybe this wasn't so good for black as I thought.
It seems like white is about 60 on the board. And I'd committed that one.
Black has about 37.
Yes.
So this is
6.
6, so it's 43. This is 9, slightly over 10. So it's, and so black has about 60. And I think maybe white has a bit less than 60, but I'm not sure. And white has
White has 60.
Yeah, so it looks good for white.
So that would in fact mean that white's getting through here.
That was very big, raising that black territory. It was,
Yes. The count has also gone up. It's 65 for white, for Zen.
Zen's estimate of the result.
Yes.
65% win for Zen, right? Looks like this final fight in the
66.
center was decisive.
Yes. It seems like now this will be a white win. Quite confidently. Ichiruki is going through a variation where black doesn't capture but instead tries to get extra profit here first. But no matter what, it's going to be Gote here, white captures.
A small difference. It's basically the same result. Oh, but black did play this one. Yeah. This is a point where white should have played this at some point.
It was always white's move. Cho Chikun has 8 minutes more. Will be entering Byoyomi. Well, nothing will happen there. Japanese commentary is getting interesting.
Oh. Probably trying to decide if the pushing move here is forcing. And if white ignores it, then all sorts of stuff can happen here. So I can play this in the hane.
Extend here is sent and...
This is dangerous for white. White would probably just answer this
yes.
stuff.
So in that case, black's corner territory is actually getting
Probably not
somewhat
enough
bigger.
to win to give the komi though.
Yes.
From my previous calculations.
Ah, he played the hane. So I suppose in this case we will see the double hane.
Just to take center, since the center stone is,
Right.
the move in the center is about 18 points.
If black simply captured, white would descend here. It would be the last big point. So black wants to exchange these two first if possible, then
Yes,
capture.
that would be
That's
a
a big difference.
Yeah.
But white also will fight to get the move.
Yes.
Sorry. So now in this case, white still has to capture, or this one. To get. So this should be the outcome in this case.
So it's about the same size. There's not a huge difference between those two moves. Maybe the corner is a pointer too. Oh, but okay. Without this exchange, white plays. That means there's a potential ko here in the corner. It would have been safer for white to play the double hane.
Then it's always the same result.
This way, black can make a ko of it.
Is it this way?
Yes.
This could be a quite big swing in territory if black can
If
run
black
it
can win the
through.
ko. So that's why white should have played the double hane. So we could still have some interesting things happening here.
If black is losing for sure, he might actually want to try it out.
Well, there's the question of ko threats too. But since he's just used one of his own ko threats,
He is not going to go for it.
Maybe he's not going to play the ko.
This would have been a 100% ko move. Ko threat for sure.
So if black plays this way, it's going to be the same thing.
So just these two moves didn't get exchanged.
Yeah, the territory is the same.
Yes. Black simply goes down. Well,
That's a loss in territory.
that's lost in territory.
Yeah.
Now it's down to 59%. It's moving quite a lot. Ichirik is also commenting about this point.
Yes. 2 points lost.
Yes. Now if the game will be fairly close, that 2 points will be incredibly painful. Could be decisive even. Well, probably white still has enough, but...
So this is 36, I believe, and see, this is 10, 12, 13.
That's 5
It's
more.
black's turn, right? So we'll assume that
That will happen that way. On a connection. Is this...
yeah, something like that. It doesn't matter. And then finally black will play here. So this is probably 22 now,
yes.
or maybe even more.
Is it 24?
2 open
20
spaces here.
Or it looks like. 3.
It's 24, I think.
Ah, yes.
So it's 24. This is
Like 17.
18. 18. So it's 42,
6.
48, and then 7, 8, 10, 12. 60. So it's 72, 73.
73. White would be 5 points here. How much is... How much would it?
75. Sorry.
36 and a bit more here. 40 perhaps.
So black still has a chance. My previous calculation was a bit off. Basically because of the yosei here, this is a big difference. Like I was saying that white could play here, and this is threatening a ko here. So maybe because the computer programs don't like to play kos, white didn't want to play this. But this would be pretty bad for black actually.
Yes.
So
It should always be white's move.
yeah, so white could have played this and forced black to play
Go down.
probably here.
And then later on, black
So
will
that
be-
would be a 4-point difference in white's territory almost. Well, 3.5 points.
Yes.
Well, let's call it 3 points because there's a bit of... And then there would
Black's
be...
3 points.
2 points here. And then there's the... Black would have to play 2 extra moves in here.
Yes.
So it's something like an 8-point difference.
And considering
7
that...
points,
yes.
sorry. 7 points difference compared to this. So that's a big difference. So white missed the timing to play that exchange, which was pretty important.
And basically gave up Komi as well.
But now, when black pushed here, white answered it on this side. So if white had answered this way, then black would have had this 8-point advantage that I was talking about. Since white ignored it, now white is... white's gain on that side is probably pretty big too. It's something like about 10 points difference. It depends who plays next, of course.
Right.
But so the question is, how much can black get out of?
It seems like black pushed up and white defended. This didn't exist at that
Oh, okay.
point.
So maybe black. I'm sorry, I missed a couple of moves. It was
Those
like
was
this.
exchanged and white threw in. And black took a liberty.
And that came after black had curled around here. So black played this exchange.
Yes.
And then white played here. So this was a pretty big move that maybe black should have played.
But also because black crawled, doesn't this one exist now?
Ah, yes, I see.
I'll even cut.
That's pretty big. I sort of suspect that playing the one Atari would have been bigger, though.
It should have been sent in any case, no matter what happened. White would be answering.
照明名人残り2分です。
So Cho Chikun has 2 minutes left and he enters Byoyomi. I suppose now there's no choice though. This should be bigger than the corner.
So this here is a 9-point move.
Yes.
And there's some added value. This here is bigger than that. This is about 12 points. Minus a slight loss here, I guess.
And
This
then
is
there's
more
finally
than 10
this one.
Let's see, how big is that? That's about 10 points too.
It might actually be the easiest one to play
so-
this one first and then leave the...
So playing here was actually a mistake by black because it allowed white to take sente to play this side. And black's next move is about the same size as curling in the corner. Let's see, which one should black play?
It should be
This
because white's this move has a big follow-up.
超畜名名人
If black takes this one, white takes this, black takes this one, then there will be no equal to this capture anymore by
Right.
size. So it should be that black needs to get this one. Then make... That should be answered, and then capture. Then I suppose...
Maybe this one.
This way...
So black has about slightly more than 70 now. Let's see if I count it. 18, 24.
Is this almost 20?
Slightly more than 70. Let's say 72.
50秒残り3分です
Bit more than 40?
55秒
Now it looks good for black. I better count
51秒
again.
残り2分です
Black's gonna eventually have to put a stone in there, won't we? It's 2. So this is 24. So it's going to end up like this, right? So it's 24. Yeah.
Could black have a chance to play this move here
Well, if
and
he
then go
does play it.
down?
Yeah, if he does play that, there'd be a 1-point difference, or 2-point difference.
Yes.
So I'll call it 24. Yes. This is 5, probably an extra point somewhere, 6.
14. Well, possibly 15 because of this.
Ah, yes. So we'll call it 15. So this was, so it's 21, it's 45, 63, and there's 6 points there, 69.
69. That means a really
Almost
close game.
About 70 points, yeah.
Yes. White
has 20 here. Slightly less than 20 maybe. But, well, yeah, about 20. Yeah, I guess it's 20.
14 here.
And then 6 in the corner.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
5.
White captured 1 stone.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
So that's 6. So that's 20. 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30. That's almost 40. So it's 59. Assuming white gets, it's black's turn, of course. And then a few points here.
30秒
So it's slightly more than 60. And how much did I say black had?
70.
Oh, so it looks like maybe black's ahead.
Ah, black cut.
But this is smaller. I think this is smaller than that one. Let's do the Yosei. Let's try out our Yosei with this one. Black cut immediately. What happens if white plays here?
If white cannot live inside, does that go out? But this way white is alive, right?
White's alive. So I was thinking this doesn't work.
Black would have to at least cut first, is the feeling.
He's already cut on the third line.
So,
yes.
so what does it mean?
Oh, but white did not do that. It's better if black can get away with not playing that cut.
As for why white plays this way,
And now, okay, we'll try to make an endgame.
回ですね。
so then black takes this one,
That's 9 points.
and white turns here.
This is
Should be almost the same size.
not quite 9. It's more like close to 8 points. We'll put this on. And then we're
Is it
running out of
call?
places to play, either here or here. Maybe this one.
So white plays that one.
Okay, we're more or less ready to count.
Yes.
So this is still 20. Let's count white first this time. This is 20,
This became 6 bigger, assuming that white was going to get
47.
30秒残り2分です。
It's 47. So white has 67,
7.
and I'm not counting this area yet.
Black. Black lost 6 points here.
This is more like, well, it's still 18. Let's just make it simple. That's a loss. Black will play here. It's 40.
Is this like 51?
What are you counting?
All the way from here to...
Okay, I'll count that. I'll see what I think now we should probably look at it like this shape.
Yes, in which case the well, there's nothing in the corner anyways, is this connection.
Then black has more.
30
So
秒
this
残り
is
2分です。
47 up to this point. So
Yes.
49, 51.
53.
About 55. This is 4, 6, 8. 13, 15.
I assume that white will play this one and jump here and send the...
Even so, black has 6 here. 6, 8,
Ah,
10,
that's right,
12,
sorry,
13.
yes.
15, 16, 18, 20, 26, 28, 38, 48, 50, 50, 55.
55.
So that's this is about 18. So that's 73, 79,
6 more.
79. And white had 10, 20,
That was 47 and
47,
20.
67,
So then it suddenly became a black
79.
game.
So black is about by
2.5. Oh, looks
no,
like-
it's more than 10 points on the board, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Mm.
White has played this hane now. So black played this yosei, and white must have curled around then. And black cut here, and now white played the hane instead of capturing these stones. This is it's 5 or it's it's 5 or it's 8 and third, so it's almost 7 points. It's about 7 points. So this is bigger.
Monkey jump inside there would be.
And now I can take this. So this is going to be the same
Black will still take the corner.
variation. It's the same thing. And
This one doesn't exist yet, but
this is
gonna be
let's
black's
see,
turn.
It's this is about 4 points, slightly more than 4 points. This is also pretty big. Maybe this one is bigger. So let's do it this way. Actually, it's better aji for black to do it this way. So we're calling this whole thing 55. With the connection, it's 56.
this lost 2 points.
Oh yeah,
It
so
is
it's
like a
54. But now black gets 21 here. So that's 75, and it's 81.
In the meanwhile, white made 3 points more here.
So that's 50. And this is 20, so it's
70.
70.
It's still the same 12.
About
On the
more
board,
than 10 points on the board. I think overall about the fact that white neglected to play this exchange because it would have been a huge forcing move.
Yes.
Like it's black's eventually black has gained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points in black territory, and almost 4 points in white's territory. So it's about 10-point difference that white could have played in
For
Sente.
free.
Yeah. So white is in the process of capturing this stone right now.
When you add to that one the white's 2-point mistake here, it actually used to be quite good for white in that case.
It was originally white had a lead, and so it looks like now that Zen is
The score is
judging that it's
dropping.
behind. Right?
Yes.
It's giving it a bad percentage of 45% to win the game.
And in this case, there's actually nothing much more to do. This
There's
game would-
no areas for white to black to make any mistakes now.
Yes.
So I was a bit worried for a while, but it looks like we're going to have a human victory in this first game.
The opening game was very good for black.
It was interesting. I'm not really sure who was ahead.
Up until the point that
but yeah, here it
something
sort of
happened.
messed up.
Yes.
And then white did very well in the final fight here, in which white invaded black's moyo there.
Yes.
And I think there was a moment there where actually Zen was maybe ahead.
Yes, got back
Yeah.
into the winning position, yes.
But now,
With this kind of endgame,
at the end game, it's black has gained a bit.
missing this point was quite huge finally.
Mustn't forget to play this exchange. That's strange.
That's not the biggest.
Of course, this could be the forcing move problem that some of the Monte Carlo programs have.
Could be. It will play
Yeah.
there once and now play somewhere else.
Zen used to do a lot of that
Yes.
when it was weaker.
Even now the commercial version quite often does
Yeah.
this kind of thing. Especially
It
if it's
just
behind.
plays any move that is sente. In this case, it doesn't really lose very much if white just leaves it like that.
In the situation that white gets this move, then it can be a minus of maybe 1/3.
Oh
or-
yes.
That's not a big deal. Most likely this is going to be black's move anyway.
Yes, in this in game it looks like that.
Yes.
It's true.
So we should be seeing this capture.
Now it looks like the computer has gone berserk.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a clean loss no matter how you look at it. Well, it doesn't change either, does it?
It's a loss of 2 points.
Oh, right.
Yes. And this is what I was talking about, is that programs that use Monte Carlo to calculate the outcome or the possibility percentage, winning percentage, generally play very strange moves once they have decided they have a very low percentage.
Yes.
So it's sort of something that the computer program does on the way to deciding to resign the game.
They start iterating whatever works, and I suppose they start playing moves that have the biggest, how to say, unclearness about them, if it will win or lose.
Well, yeah, they play moves that are similar to co-threats, in that if the computer gets to play 2 moves in a row, then it will meet with success.
Yes, because there might be a chance that black doesn't answer in the many random iterations that it makes. Now white lost center over there.
At this point, it's not relevant anymore.
I think we will see a resignation in just a few moves.
I expect it to continue playing forcing moves until it runs out, and then it will resign. And this even happened with AlphaGo, which is
that fourth game.
It always at that point it was already beating Lee Sedol, and apparently they've continued working on it. So it's probably even much more strong. The rumor is that it's much stronger than that now.
They have been saying it's like 2 stones stronger, perhaps. Difficult to tell from the rumors, but
well, hopefully we'll see it playing again.
yes.
And then we'll know, maybe.
Next January.
There we go. Still playing forcing moves. So all of this is just eventually it will resign now.
Percentage should be going down and down at this point. Yes, 22 now. Kato-san looks worried. Programmer of Zen.
He can recognize the symptoms.
Yes. He's a strong Go player, so he also knows what's going on.
Yes. I think we are approaching the end of the game. Just to make sure everyone knows about what's coming up, there will be a second game tomorrow, and so it will be starting at the same time. We had some trouble with sound earlier today.
That should be no problem tomorrow,
But
I hope.
hopefully we'll be starting at 12:30 Japan time tomorrow afternoon.
As promised.
So we were about a quarter of an hour late today, but we'll probably start on time tomorrow. And then there will be a third game on the 23rd.
Wednesday next week.
Wednesday next week.
Same time.
Again, Japan time, 12:30.
Yes.
We start, and the game starts at 1 o'clock. So we hope you'll be here to watch us again. And the third game will happen
Regardless of
regardless, yes, of what result they might have. So even if Cho wins 2 games, then there will be a third game.
Quite resigned.
Yes, that was good timing.
Yes.
So just we will see. There's probably going to be an interview in the playing room now, so we'll be able to watch them asking some questions to Cho Chikun.
Then we can translate some of them if there's interesting.
We'll try to do that. Yes. And then after that, I suppose the program will finish. So my comments sort of finish with me asking you to come back next time, tomorrow.
We'll be looking forward to having you again.
Yes. And there's Cho. He's come in to talk with Cho Chikun. It looks like he's laughing at the mistake that Cho Chikun did in the lower right corner.
Looks like it.
下がったってね潰れちゃったねつなぎみたいになってこっち開く方がいいぐらいなんだよ
Cho Chikun is practically saying it was over by the mistake he made.
開く方がいいぐらいだねこれ関係がねここで生きるのつらいもんねひどかったねもうバカなって言っちゃってよかった。このサンバービーがなんかまだ早すぎたっていうかですよ。あそこでこっちに逃げ出してればプロが。これから回しますんで。よかった。この辺がどこか。この辺はどこか。先にテーマだったことだね。そうです。これめちゃくちゃ悪くないでおいて。この机の後に。この左ってベランダの時にここにこう覗いて。